Thank God that the brothers on the rise now. Woo! Endless celebrations all in my house. Levitating now, I'm super duper fly now. London boy, but DC where I reside now. Put the time in while you always yelling time out. And for quit it, cause I know I'm coming with it. You were sitting, you were wishing I was handling my business. Now I got the ball like Harry Potter playing Quidditch. And my business so humongous, you would think that happens in it. Oh man, I'm all that, yeah, I'm all that. Looking for that whip, yeah, that what you call that. I'ma blow up in the summer, have him yelling fall back. And I've always been ahead like an effing ball cap. Man, I came in the game like, whoa. Got a couple chains on me cause I like gold. They told me I'm the best and I told them I know. Cause when I'm in your town, every ticket I sold. Yeah, they saying I'm the man. Facts, bro. Lot of haters, tell me where they at though. I'm the new pop, all I do is rap though. Want me on your song, throw a couple stacks, yo. Woo! Everybody wanna do the same thing, yup. That's why we ain't on the same page. Do my own thing, and I maintain. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream. Yeah, I'm going mainstream. Flow like water, so I'm going mainstream.
Yo, for tuning back in. It's your boy, we live tonight. It's your favorite channel, PELican Bay K9's giving it to you the way I always do. You know, the way I always do. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, man, go ahead and subscribe now. Go ahead and hit that like button up. Like I told y'all, man, I've been dropping them videos all day. I had to catch back up on the algorithm. You know what I'm saying? Let them know I'm still around. You know, they see me ain't dropped in a week, so I had to let them know I'm still around. Plus the fact, you know, I had to drop the number down in the chat, you know what I'm saying? Just in case we got a lot of people out there that want to express their opinion, you know, and I'll be unfair to not give you a chance to express your opinion, but rather do it in the text. You know, you can talk about it. If you got a dog, man, you want to send a shout out to, hit that line up, you know what I'm saying? If you got anything you want to ask about dogs or any kind of questions when it comes to training or anything like that, hit that line up. You know what I'm saying? You want to talk to me about anything personal, hit that line up. You know what I'm saying? It is what it is. Salute to the brothers and sisters that's watching right now. You know, I don't expect nobody to too much be in the chat because I've been dropping videos all day. You know, I just did this on some random shit, you know, but I appreciate all the bulldoggers, you know, from one side of the country to the other side, one side of the world to the other side. Salute to Mary. Mary, salute to you, my sister. Salute to all the bulldogs that been in the chats all day long. You know what I'm saying? All day long. Legion's Fury 13, Hunt Down, City Boy Kennels. All them boys been in the chats all day long, man. Appreciate all of y'all. We're going Saturday Night Live tomorrow. Plus, I got one video dropping. I ain't going to drop 5 tomorrow. I'm going to drop one video tomorrow, and we're going Saturday Night Live as well. You know, and I'm going to drop one video Sunday, and everything will be back to the normal after that. But yeah, man, hit me up on that number. You want to come up on there? You know, I ain't do too much promoting, so like I said, I don't expect too many people in the chat right about this second. I'm not sure how long I'm going to stay up here. You know, I'm not sure how long I'm going to be up here, but go ahead, hit that number up if you got any questions. Any bulldog talk, salute to my brother J-Bo out there. You know what I'm saying? Salute to my brother YB. Salute to my brother Pro and Game Mag. You know what I'm saying? Pro, I see you got your channel up and running. Salute to you, my brother. You know, salute to you. You know, big things about to happen. Big things about to happen. You know, they got Pro and Game Mag back on the scene. Shit. You know, big things about to happen, man. You know, I think my brother J-Bo got a page too, you know what I'm saying? To the brothers, you know, they want to log into my brother J-Bo page. You know, check his page out as well. I'll get that info from you when I talk to brother J-Bo again. You know, but like I said, man, if you got any questions, just hit that number up, you know, and we're going to talk about it, whether it's training questions or whatever. Don't be afraid, you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid. I ain't going to bite. We're just going to talk about some dogs for a second. I hope everybody out there having a good night tonight, man. I hope everybody having a good night tonight. When it comes to, you know, I've been trying to breed Mellow Yellow over the past week or so. Let me tell y'all about that real quick. I've been breeding Mellow Yellow, and I'm not sure if it's maybe she's a little small or my male dog didn't get hung in her. You know what I'm saying? My male dog didn't get hung in her, but, you know, he was up in it for a while for a second, but he didn't get stuck with it like I wanted him to. I don't know what the problem was. She was flaming, she was flagging, giving it to him. It just, he just wasn't getting stuck in him. He get up there every time, over and over and over, doing it. And then he start going fast, and then he get up in it, like he hung up in it, and then he slide back out. I don't know what the problem was, you know what I'm saying? But I'm just letting you know where I'm at with it. That's why I was telling my brother Marcel the other day, what that was today probably, that I was aggravated because I've been doing that shit all week, man. You know what I'm saying? All week long. This is the first time I ever experienced something like that, you know what I'm saying, where the female giving it to him and he hitting it, but it is not staying inside of her. I'm just wondering, maybe she got a little more growing to do or something. Maybe that's what it is or something. I don't know. Maybe that's what it is. But a lot of brothers say they seen litters come from just one pump into the dog, So I'm just hoping she gets some puppies off that, you know what I'm saying? At least a few puppies off the breeding I did. I didn't want to do AI breeding. Honey, no salt. What's good with you, my brother? What's good with you? Hey, I ain't got my glasses on, man. Normally when I'm in the chat, I have my glasses on when I'm reading y'all brothers' messages and stuff, man. I ain't got my glasses on right now because there's so many lights and cameras, and it's gonna reflect off my glasses. Salute to you, man. Salute to you. Honey, no salt, man. I dropped the number down there if you want to come up in here, you know what I'm saying, and talk for a second, Any of my bulldog friends or any of my dog lovers, it don't make no difference. Any of my haters, if y'all want to get up in here, this is the perfect opportunity. We ain't got to argue. I just want to know what you're so mad about. You know what I'm saying? Just tell me what you're mad about. Sister Mary, I see you back up in here. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. We're going to have a good day today, I tell you that. We're going to have a good day today. Got Brother Honey No Salt up in here. Sister Mary Wade from Ireland representing. You can't talk about them Irish dogs without having a true representative from Ireland in the house. See, we got Sister Mary, you know what I'm saying? She gonna knight us all because she from the homeland, you know what I'm saying? She gonna knight us all, she our Ireland sister. The rest of the boys, they ain't got no hometown connect. We got hometown connects out here. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to Sister Mary holding it down, about to get her day started. Them brothers about to send me back into DJ mode, man. Back when I was on the radio station, I think I told y'all about that. I had my own hour. We call it after work traffic jam hour. When I was doing doing my DJ thing, but only thing about that, I have to get into a whole nother voice and get into my DJ voice, and it's gonna sound a little different than my dog voice. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man. Appreciate everybody tuning back in. I was telling them, Mary, and I don't really got no agenda for the night. Just want to talk to everybody. If anybody want to say anything, if anybody want to come up on, and chat, we can chat. Tomorrow night, we're gonna do the Saturday Night Live, Brother J-Bo. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna drop the phone line up there. Y'all want to call? Hit us up. You know what I'm saying? Same old thing. One thing about it. And don't be afraid to express your opinion. If you got something to say, call, man. Nobody, it is what it is. We ain't trying to have a world where everybody thinking the same. Everybody got to express their opinion. And I'm going to stop kicking y'all brothers out the chat. This for talking shit all the time. You can talk shit if you want to talk. You know what I'm saying? That's hey Ben Brock. I got you off the block list. I don't know when I put you on it or how you got on it. Probably was back, a little while ago, but you off the block list, fam. Hey, Mary, when you was telling us about Shane in the last video, that was a dog you had when you was younger, or that dog just died recently? Shane. Pro, man, Pro. We're Pro in Game Mag. I need to call Pro, man. Tell Pro to come up here. Pro, man, if you seen this video, Pro, hit that number that's in the chat, Pro. If you see that number. I mean, if you're watching this video, I'm not sure if you're watching it or not. If you're watching this video, hit that phone number that's in the chat, Pro. Don't hit my other number. Hit that number right there. like I say, man, salute my brother J-Bo. And there's another thing, man. To the brother that kept coming in the chat, you know what I'm saying, talking trash about me not having J-Bo up there, this and that. Listen, man, brothers like that, and I only say this to brothers like that, man, you better come out with some money, man. You talking a lot of stuff, you know what I'm saying, and you want to know a lot of information, go get one of them magazines and read it for $10. You know what I'm saying? Go get one of them magazines and read it. You know, when you start talking reckless, you know what I'm saying, about something, you know, that, in a matter that we ain't feeling, just go get you a magazine and you'll get all the information you want to get. And you're going to pay that magazine $10, but you want to come over here and talk trash and don't even want to kick out $5. Don't even want to kick out $2, $1.99, 50 cents, anything. We don't care what it is. You can give 5 cents. I don't care, because I know each and every brother in different situations. You know what I'm saying? So I don't care what you send 10 cents. I'm from the old school. I was a hustler. I turned down no money. You know what I'm saying? 10 cents, 15 cents, 50 cents, whatever it is, whatever you can afford to support the channel with. You know what I'm saying? But brothers like that, man, listen. That's why I blocked them off the page, man. I ain't got time for it. You know what I'm saying? Salute the Moore Keith in the building. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Oh, Shane died over 20 years ago. Yeah, them good dogs. We don't forget them good dogs. 20 years will seem just like it was yesterday when it was a good dog that you missed. You know what I'm saying? That's why I can't remember them stories about all the other dogs that I had. I can't remember them, but I can remember them both stories, at least a lot of them. You know what I'm saying? I can't remember a lot of them other ones. Can't remember a lot of them other ones. Dang, man, somebody hit that number up. One of them, somebody passed the number to somebody. Find one of them haters they claim they want to talk, man, or something. I really don't want to talk to no haters. I want to talk to the true doggers tonight, But it is what it is. It is what it is. Yes, sir. I gotta get me some more glasses, man. I gotta either get some contacts or something that ain't gonna reflect off them lenses, off them cameras and them lights and stuff. Y'all go ahead and hit that like button up though, man. Go ahead and hit that like button. I ain't sure how long I'm gonna be up here tonight. I'm just getting up here, bull jiving around with my folk, because I know it's 9:42 and it's still kind of early. And like Sister Mary, she just about to start her dang on day up. You know what I'm saying? Just about to start her day up. Honey No Salt, man, what you been up to, man? I ain't see you in a minute, man. What you been up to? And then I got the video coming out either tomorrow or Sunday one, when I'm be talking about the man from Washington, D.C. that got busted fighting the dog in the dog fighting ring. I had that story when the story first broke before anybody had the story, but I was under suspension, so I couldn't drop it. Man, so many dog stories dropped since I was under suspension. I'm like, damn, I can't get none of these stories out. CNN Satellites from Outer Space hit me up. They like, oh, look, we got Department of Defense got busted fighting dogs. Boy, that was the breaking news. I'm gonna hit it. I ought to hit that, slap that on Facebook dashboard immediately when I would have seen that. If you know Pelican Bay didn't drop the Department of Justice busted for dog fighting, something was damn wrong. I've been waiting to drop that. I ain't even dropped the video yet because they ain't had too much on it, But I tell you what, there's a whole bunch of stuff going on in Virginia. Y'all check that video out tomorrow, because we got proof that them boys in Virginia got caught up last year. It's 9 of them. I'm gonna show y'all proof on the video tomorrow. It's 9 brothers that got caught up in Virginia last year. They all got indicted. 8 of them pled guilty and 8 of them cooperated with investigators. I got the proof to show you on the video tomorrow where it's gonna say 8 of them cooperated with investigators out of the 9 that got caught in VA last year. You see? Yeah. Them 9 got caught in VA and 8 of them cooperated. And the news people didn't give a damn about letting us know they cooperated with investigators. It only means one damn thing. Y'all cooperated. You gave up some info. You gave up some dog men. You know, because one thing about it, they ain't locking you up for no dogs and asking you about no dope. You know what I'm saying? They ain't locking you up for no dogs and asking you about no dope. You might volunteer some dope. They ain't asking you about it. They lock you up for dogs. They asking you about more dogs. You know, if they only lock you up for dogs. But hey, I'm just gonna give it to you. And I got the proof tomorrow. I'm showing it to you. You know what I'm saying? You got the dude from Washington that got busted. You don't think he want to keep his job? That dude worked for the damn Pentagon. You don't think, man, listen here, man. Listen here. You don't think that man ain't, he don't give a damn about none of y'all out here? No, man. That man worked for the dang on White House. You know what I'm saying? There's no limits to that. You can act like you don't got common sense or not. You know, it is what it is. You think that man gonna lose he gonna lose the job regardless. But he gonna make it easy on his damn self. You know, and that just is what it is. You remember how, and I don't want to talk too much about it because I've got my video about it, and I don't want to be like I'm talking about the same stuff. But every day we trying to get up here. Every day we trying to get up here and find people in the government that can help us with these damn dogs instead of him just speaking. Because I know he seen my video at least one damn time in the last 2 years. You know, see me preaching about these dogs, and he sitting here in the damn Pentagon and won't say the damn word. Go out here and look even fucked up, make it look even worse for us. And the thing about it, the 20-some years in the game, like I told y'all brothers, every single person that went down over the past year, them dog men have been in the game for 20-some years, ever since that Carolina Classic shit happened, everything been going to hell. You know what I'm saying? Everything been going to hell. Ever since that Carolina Classic thing happened. I don't know where them brothers came from different parts of the country, but them boys got it screwed up. You know, well, they ain't got it screwed up for me because I left that life alone. But for the ones who always, you know, trying to dib and dab and do their thing, they got it screwed up for you. That's why I try to tell brothers, you know what I'm saying? Make your way out that game. You know, make your way out that game to the other side. To the other side. You know, like I'll be stupid to get up here and say, them folk ain't watched my channel before. I'll be stupid to get up here and say, them dudes that's telling on everybody ain't told them police that I got my channel. You know, I'll be dumb to think that, you know, that they ain't doing all that. But at the end of the day, I know on my channel, like I always say, I let my words, if they want to fuck with me, if they want to mess with me, at the end of the day, let my words talk for me, you know, in the courtroom, you know, because I stand on the other side, you know what I'm saying, when it comes to these dogs. And I tell everybody every day, and they get pissed off at me because I tell them so much about making other moves with these dogs. But hey, man, if you can't see, dog, they just got the dude from the Pentagon, fam. My people out there, this ain't no bullshit, man. They hitting people like I told y'all. This first 6 months after the year started, it was no dog bust. All of a sudden, that shit hit the fan. Man, listen here. All hell broke loose to June. After about June and July, all hell broke loose with dog fighting busts all across the country. You know, if you can't see, man, if you can't see what's going on, you know, I mean, it is what it is, I guess. Some folk just like to stay in trouble. Some folk just don't give a damn. The brother early on the video earlier, he asked me how I know about all these busts, and that must be the police. Man, listen here, how I know about the bust, because I read. The people say you want to keep something from some people. I ain't gonna call your name. They say you want to keep something from some people. Put it in the damn book. Put it in the damn book, and they won't. And it should go 30 years before they figure out something. See, I read, my brother. You know, that's what he got sent to school for, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? I don't just look at pictures and start and try to dictate a picture. I read. It don't gotta have no pictures on a page. You know what I'm saying? See, that's how I figured out this and how I figured out that. My brother, who asked me that question earlier, you know. But hey, it is what it is, man. Some folk gonna understand it, some ain't. Some don't want to understand it. You know what I'm saying? Some don't want to understand it. One thing about it, I know shit real. I know them folks come to your house and take all your damn dogs. You know what I'm saying? And like I said before, I ain't gonna get up and tell Honey No Salt, man, go up and do something to lose your dogs. You know what I'm saying? Honey No Salt, you ever came in your backyard, fam? Like I tell my brothers before, you ever came in your backyard and every damn dog you love gone? Dog, that shit'll make you cry. Fuck all that shit, fam. You know what I'm saying? And listen here, man. You know, if you love your junk, if you love your stock, you know, you gotta do what you gotta do. It just is what it is. You might feel like, oh man, this ain't what I'm used to. I'm used to living in the wild, wild west. But hey, man, you know what I'm saying? Like I said before, if you love your family, you love your kids, and you love your animals in the yard, you gotta make different moves, man. You know what I'm saying? Either you gotta make different moves, or I don't know, man. You just gotta make different moves, you know what I'm saying? I let brothers know about these transporters. You know what I'm saying? These transporters. You don't think these transporters, when they get caught up, they gonna give up some names. You know what I'm saying? So you're best to deal with folk who reliable, folk who you know. You know what I'm saying? Every dog, man, ain't to be trusted. Far as the transporters. The transporters get pulled over, boom. It's a wrap. You know, who you think they taking the charge for when they got damn 20 dogs in the car, 10 dogs in the car? Which one of y'all do you think they're going to take the charge for? They don't know who to pick for them to take the charge for. First thing they're going to do is start talking. They don't know. There's no addresses they're going at. They don't know these people. You know what I'm saying? So first thing they're going to do is start talking. Them people say, your ass going to jail for these dogs fighting. They going to say, hell to the no, I ain't. Let's make a deal. So you got to be careful on transporters. Go get your own shit sometime. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on how far it is. Really, it's safer going to get your own dog, you know, and meeting them folk yourself. Because these transporters ain't showing no love. You don't know if they get caught up in these. See, a transporter get caught up and he'll railroad the whole country. You know what I'm saying? He'll railroad he'll take 1 year, 2 years, and he'll take dogs to the whole damn country. Every dog he take is being documented across the whole country in 2 years' time. That one transporter, everybody he dropped a dog off to knew they was getting a fighting dog, knew they was owning a fighting dog, or knew they was buying a dog that had been fought before. Every single person house that transporter show up to in 2 years' time, them people going to your house. Oh, let me mention this while I'm thinking about it. Got to hit this L real quick. I don't know if you want me to mention this, my brother, but it ain't saying nobody's names, so I'm going to mention it. Word is, word in the streets. You know I give you the word in the streets. I ain't the one to gossip. You ain't heard it from me, but they say everybody who got dogs coming off a ship is getting visits from them people. I don't know how true it is. It ain't for me to worry about how true it is. It's for me to give the news when I hear the news as a journalist. Fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. Some gonna like it, some ain't. You know, some gonna like it, some ain't. They say if you got championship dogs, you better be looking for a visit. All I know is, you know, the laws is if you're buying one that you know is for fighting, if you're buying one that you know have been fought before, if you're buying it for fighting, man, they got all kind of rules when it come to owning, possessing, having, and all that stuff, man. Every year they throw another one in there, you know, owning, possessing, selling. You can't get away from it. You know, and everybody brag and talk about ship. If you know about ship and you got a ship dog in your damn yard, you know what the damn dog ship doing overseas. I guess that's how they looking at it. You buying a dog from overseas, or overseas dog that's used for so-and-so. So if you buying this dog, you know it's used for so-and-so because you wouldn't know about this dog if you want this dog way in Europe. How the hell you know about him? And you in the United States if you ain't looking for that type of dog. So now you got this dog. See, them yellow dogs, them Jeep dogs, them all American dogs. Them dogs all from the old school. You know what I'm saying? Their stories is old. That ship shit, that's new shit. You know what I'm saying? That's new stuff. That's new stuff that's getting imported into America. Damn, they like fentanyl. You know? Hey, but it is what it is, man. It is. I just got to give it to you, you know? I got to give it to you when I hear it. I don't know how true it is. It could be just old fork tail, like they said in the South. You know what I'm saying? But sometimes there's truth to them fork tails that they say in the South. You know what I'm saying? And, hey, big salute to all my bulldoggers in the South, all my bulldoggers in the North, all my bulldoggers in the Midwest. And like I said in the last video, shout out again to them brothers in Tennessee. You know what I'm saying? We've been leaving them brothers out too long. Them Tennessee brothers been bulldogging. You know what I'm saying? Bulldogging. Shout out to all them brothers in Texas, Louisiana. J-Bo, what it is, my brother. Yes, sir, man. Yes, sir. You know, giving you that news, man. I guess my boy Pro ain't seen the video because I told you to come up here, Pro, man. I told you to come up here. Nicholas Bronson, salute. Glad you're back up in here, my brother. Yes, sir, man. I'm trying to read the questions. I ain't gonna lie to y'all, fam. I told y'all I ain't got my glasses on right now. You know, I can read them somewhat. Yes, sir. Let's see who in the building. GL Audio, salute to you, my brother. Salute to you. Yes, sir. Brother Jamel, salute to you, fam. Salute to you. Yes, sir. Glad you came. Glad you came, my brother. Vad, man, I see you. Peace to you and salute, big dog. Yes, sir. Glad you're in the house, man. We just talking a little bit. You know what I'm saying? I was telling them boys with them ship dogs, they said they're getting paid visits. And them damn transporters, if you ain't careful, you know what I'm saying? You're going to wind up with them boys who going all across the country. They say them boys ain't taking no prisoners. If they show up to your house, them people know that they bought a dog for fighting to your house and they coming to your damn house. You know what I'm saying? And guess what? We still ain't got no news of what happened just a couple weeks ago in South Carolina. Still ain't no news. But I tell y'all brothers what, they sure doing a lot of drug busts in that same damn area. Not even got nothing to do with no dogs. They doing drug busts in them same areas. I don't know if it got nothing to do with that or not. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I don't know. Yes, sir. Yeah, man, I had to drop a bunch of videos today, man. I know y'all probably like, what the hell? I had to drop a few of them, man, to get, you know, for one, I was working while I couldn't get on. I was working and then at 2, I had to get back, get my average back up to what my normal video dropping in a day is, you know. So it's just all about business, baby. All about business. And like I say, man, if y'all looking for that perfect canine supplement, the Vertex is great, man. The Vertex Canine Essentials is great. And only thing, I don't really see no difference between that and the RF1 fuel. You know what I'm saying? But I just haven't used the RF1 fuel as much. You know what I'm saying? I really use the Vertex more than I use the RF1 fuel. And if anybody can find that peak performance, Sister Mary, y'all might can find it over there. Because last time I heard it was being sold overseas, but I'm not sure. The peak performance. Tom Garner and the guy who owned Peak Performance was partners at first. Tom Garner was in on the Peak Performance back then they separated, and Tom Garner started making the RF1 fuel, and the other brother continued making the Peak Performance. And I was buying that for a while, but then he disappeared. And I don't know how to get in touch with him no more. That was the best stuff to me. That was the best stuff. But yeah, man. Mr. 216. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. I was talking about that dang on the Pentagon official, man. That Pentagon official, y'all think the bus, cause see, them boys in VA, ain't no telling who they gave up. They done cooperate with investigators. I'm gonna show y'all tomorrow on the video, or yes, tomorrow. Show y'all on that video tomorrow when them 8 boys cooperated with investigators from VA. Now that dude in the Pentagon, he involved with that DMV shit. That damn DMV board or whatever they call that little dog fighting group they got up there, whatever they call that area. He involved with that 20-some years in the game. Who you think that man know? You know, who you think that damn man know? And you don't think that man pissed the hell off knowing somebody done dropped it on him? You don't think that man know one of them sucker ass dudes up there done dropped a dime on him? Shit, man, he ain't got no friends when it come. He about to do what he got to do. You think the White House gonna play that? You think the White House gonna play one of their people getting caught up? So you tell me Michael Vick can get all his media attention? Michael Vick, because he was a football player, because Michael Vick could play in football, yeah. Man, damn that. That Department of Defense guy's supposed to be a hero to these kids out here, right? They want to put all that shit on Michael Vick. But no, this guy right here, we hold to high standards. Why the hell he ain't on every channel? Why the hell he ain't getting slandered? This and that, and feds pick this up and this and that, even though we know he is the feds, you know. I tell y'all, brothers, they try to treat us folk like this. When I say us folk, I'm talking about all us folk, no matter what color. Us folk that like pit bulls. You know what I'm saying? They treat us like this. Some folk, they treat a little different. You see? And y'all better pay attention now. And notice, when they don't flash people across the screen, it's when you got to worry about stuff. You know what I'm saying? They flash Michael Vick. You ain't got to worry about Vick. They ain't flashing in South Carolina Classic Part 2. You got to worry about that. They ain't flashing that dude in the Pentagon all over the place. You got to worry about that. They ain't flashing them 8 brothers that cooperated with them investigators I'm going to show y'all tomorrow from VA. You got to worry about that. They ain't flashing that damn transporter that's riding around here from spot to spot, tagging everybody, playing hide and go seek, tagging everybody with the damn tracer. You know? He gonna roll up at the right people's house and he ain't gonna roll up nowhere else. The only thing that's gonna secure him, only thing that got him secure is because he's probably riding around with a damn tracker. But hey, it is what it is. I just want them brothers who have them questions, how I figure out things so fast, how I get this news, and I must be the police. I drop the number in the chat so they can get up here and talk. All I want to do is just hear y'all brothers' voices. I just want to know if you're 10 years old or if you're 30 years old. You know what I'm saying? What kind of people making these comments? You know what I'm saying? I can listen to your voice. I can hear you talk and tell if you're sincere about what you're saying. You know, if you're sincere about what you're typing, let's get on the phone, fam, and let's see if you're sincere about what you're saying. You know what I'm saying? You don't even got to put your picture up there. You don't got to put your picture up there. You're not going to have your picture up there. It's going to be all voice, you know, because you're calling my cell phone. You know, but it is what it is, man. It is what it is. Hey, that's what the haters always do, though, man. They don't never show their face when called for. You know what I'm saying? They don't never show their face when called for. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate all the folk that's watching this right now. Like I said, this ain't had no promotion behind it. I really wasn't even gonna go live. I just had enough. I was energized when that last video went off. So I said, man, I gotta go live. Forget that. You know what I'm saying? You know, I gotta go live, man. You know. Tony M in the house. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all brothers rocking with me all day long, man. Bearing with me. You know what I'm saying? Bear with me. Even though on some of the videos I might be discussing some of the same topics here and there. But man, I had a long week to drop some videos, you know what I'm saying? So I might be crossed them up here and there. But we back on the track. You know what I'm saying? We back on the track. I want to send a big salute out to my brother Ed Volatin. Wherever you at, big dog. I want to send a big salute out to you. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. I can't wait to see who all these winners is in the Digital Dog Show. And like I tell y'all, brothers, you know, the ones who win, you know, I'm gonna promote you on my channel. You know, we're gonna be promoting the ones who win the different shows. I'm gonna promote you on mine. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna make that win worth it, baby. You know, we're gonna make it to them boys get tired of seeing your damn dogs. They gonna know them dogs when we finish with them. They gonna know their name, I tell you that. You know, they ain't gotta like it, but they gonna know them. That's what it's all about, man. Making them dogs famous. You know, we're gonna put it in their head. So at least they can't forget about it. Like I said, they might not like it, but they ain't gonna forget about it. Yes, sir, man. I gotta send a big shout out to Samurai Kennel and the whole Shogun crew, man. The whole Shogun crew. Salute the M1. You know what I'm saying? Soul Brother. Salute to all the brothers, man. Salute to all the brothers, the whole Shogun crew, man. Them boys doing some good things when it comes to these dogs, bro. I'm telling you. Years down the line, y'all gonna be glad Samurai started that digital dog show doing that thing like he doing it, man. Brothers gonna be glad years down the line, you know. Especially when you ain't gotta leave out your yard. If the accolades add up, and the accolades is the more than the other dog shows. Shit, man, that's gonna be the top dog show to compete in for the American Pit Bull Terrier. They got magazines, we got magazines. They ain't got no videos though. We got dog channels, we got all kind of stuff. Our advertising go way farther than their advertising. Yeah, man, I got to get my contact game up, man. I got to get my contact game up. My cataracts ain't focusing like they used to. Any questions, man? Any dog training questions? Any kind of questions, man? You know, let me see what I got up in my thing right here, man. I might got some. Hell no. Yeah, I was trying to check and see if I had some pedigrees up in my my little bank right there, but I done took all them out. And I'm basically tonight, I'm just testing myself, man. I'm just testing myself. No material, no write-up, no kind of nothing for the show. Just coming straight off the dome, just freestyling, hollering at my folk, man. Just trying to holler at my folk. That's about it. You know what I'm saying? I ain't trying to hold y'all here too long tonight. Just trying to holler at my people. Oh, I will say this though. My boy Marcel Shepard, he just dropped a litter. I want to say if I'm wrong, Marcel, correct me, but I think I'm right. He just dropped a litter off of brother and sister breeding. JD Hall, brother and sister, got a litter. Not his little mate brother, but the litter after him got a litter. And that's a little mate brother and sister. For anybody that's interested, and that's in the that'll be in the north area up by Wisconsin. You know, for the brothers that's in that area, or the sisters that's in that area. Oh, and one thing, man, like we talking about pits right now, but it don't matter what breed of dog you got. If you want to know some training questions or you want to know anything about the dog, just ask me. Like I said, that's why I put the number in the chat for, so you can call in to ask me if you want to ask me. It don't matter, man, what the breed of dog is. What time is it over there right now, Mary? What you got, Jose? Jose Gomez, what question you got, big dog? Talk to me, Jose. Lionhead, what's the deal, my brother? What's the deal? Jose say he got a question for me. I'm waiting to see. Big Vermin, what's going on, my brother? Okay, I got to get up a little closer to the screen, Jose, man. Oh, you say you got a German Shepherd that fights with your roommate poodle? How old your German Shepherd is? And thing about it, I had to train a German Shepherd for that exact same thing. The family had a poodle and a German Shepherd, and that's the problem they was having. The German Shepherd was being too wild with the poodle, so that they end up having to get rid of the dog. You know what I'm saying? Because they sent the dog to me for obedience training. I trained the dog for obedience, but the dog didn't need training for obedience. The dog just need to be trained for that particular dog, and it's like the family really didn't no, they didn't really didn't want to put the time into it, so they just got rid of the dog. But I would think, bro, get you an e-collar, and every single time that dog uh goes towards that dog, because he's probably playing rough with the dog, or just since the dog is so big that it don't take much to knock the poodle around and stuff. You know what I'm saying? But get you an e-collar, man. Every time that dog, goes and do an action towards that poodle that you don't want, give him a little zap. Don't give him the big joint. Start him off real small. And that way, every time he do that, every time he goes to that poodle, you go beep, and then you give him a zap. He gonna start affiliating that beeping noise with the pain. He affiliate that beeping noise with the pain. Every time he hear that beeping noise, he gonna eventually stop whatever he's doing. So now he going to pick at the poodle. He going to pick at the poodle. You hit the button, beep. Now he gonna stop. He ain't gonna stop at first. You got to break him into it. You got to just break him into it. And e-collar is gonna be pretty much the only way you can do that, stopping him from jumping on another dog, because you can't do it with the choke collar. You can't do it with no collar. You know what I'm saying? You can't do it by beating on him or nothing like that. So it's gonna take put a collar on him, and you like the e-collars. They have 3 modes: vibrate, the beeping noise, and then you got electric static, which is not real electric, just static. You know what I'm saying? Just start them off with that. Start them off real, real low. And to just tap it and make sure he can feel it. And make sure with a German Shepherd, you really got to be careful with an e-collar, because they got so much hair. You put e-collar on their neck and the prongs won't be touching their skin, and they won't be hurting them. They won't even feel it because they got so much hair. So you have to move the hair around a little bit on the German Shepherd, and then put the collar, in their hair to make sure it's touching their skin. You really will have that problem with a German Shepherd. It depends on how long the hair is too, as well. I'm trying to read this dang on thing, man. I got it. I got it. I was trying to read Brother Tony M comment. That beat but have everything in line. Yes, sir. You're right about that, man. I ain't gonna lie to you. All my dogs knew about the beep. They start barking too much in that backyard. Shit, I go throw that e-collar on his ass. Bark again. I tell you what, bark again. And then I tell you what, by the end of the day, all I gotta do is hit the beep sound. Beep, quiet right on up. Beep, quiet right on up. It's no different than a bark collar, putting a bark collar on them. Only thing about a bark collar, I don't want to stop my dog from barking, because I want him to bark at the right times. You know what I'm saying? But I could tell when my dog is barking for no reason. You know what I'm saying? If I put a bark collar on him, it's gonna zap him every single time he barks. I don't want that. You know. So I just put the e-collar on him, and if I have to use the beeping noise, just use the beeping noise, and it is quiet right on down. Quiet him right on down. Even Marino, he hear that beeping noise, he stop, sit, look at me. Anime hear the beeping noise, she go stop, look at me. All of them know the beeping noise. I can hold a collar in my hand and just beep it. Beep, beep. Walk through the yard beeping the collar while I'm holding it in my hand, and make them shut up. Because they hear that beeping noise. They don't know if they got the collar on or not. Yeah, but like you say, let me see. Yeah, beep to my dog. It don't mean quiet. A beep to my dog means sit your ass down, pay attention. Big dog somewhere around. I'm the big dog. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, say if I got it on Marino outside, right? And he out there barking, and I just beep the thing. When Marino got on the collar and I hit that beep, he sit down and he start looking at the door that he think I'm coming out. You know, I be hiding sometimes, and I just peep out the door, and I hit the beeping noise, and he'll sit down and look and wait for me to come. You know, he just wait. When Marino bark, I'm gonna tell you how smart them dogs is. When he barks, he looks at whatever he's barking at, and then he looks back at the look at with the door that he think I'm coming out. He barks, and then he looks back at the door because he know I'm coming out the door. He barks, and he look back at the door. Them dogs be smart now. That's one thing about a German Shepherd dog and a Malinois and all them, man. Them dogs is they intelligence is on another level. You know what I'm saying? On another level, but that energy on another level too. Whew, I'll take a pit. I love Marino. I wouldn't get rid of him for nothing. But boy, look here. I didn't know what I was getting into when I got them Malinois, boy. I didn't know. But I wouldn't change it up. You know what I'm saying? I love my dogs. I love the breed. It's just you got to know what you're getting involved with before you get involved with them. Yes, sir. Hey, hey, Jose, man, I don't know about that now. I don't know if they smarter than monkeys. They smart though. I ain't gonna lie, they smart, but I don't know if they smarter than monkeys. But shit, I ain't gonna lie, they smart. You might could train a dog faster than you could train a monkey. I don't know. I ain't never dealt with a monkey as far as training. I believe a monkey I learn more stuff than a dog though. You know, you could probably teach a dog some things faster than a monkey, but a monkey damn near like a human. Yeah, I'm been disappointed, man, because I didn't get my dogs to lock up, man. I got a bunch of humping and a bunch of I was holding them on the back. But you know, they didn't get stuck, man. They didn't get stuck. Matter of fact, I'm gonna see if I can upload a video real quick of let me see if I got the video. I'm gonna see if I can upload it real quick of JD them when they was in the thing. It might upload, it might not. Let me see. Tum, tum. Try to upload this video real quick for y'all. Mm-mm. I don't know if it's gonna let me do it or not. It ain't letting me add it, man. I don't know. I'm trying to add it. Yeah. Yeah, it ain't let me add it, man. I was trying to add it just now. I'll have it on my next live tomorrow when I go live tomorrow. I was trying to show you how they was acting because she flagging him, she letting him get on it, and he humping it, he humping it. He get inside of it, and he start humping fast, and he look like he gonna be stuck. But then, as soon as he get to that, that last couple humps, it slide on out. His thing be white, because you know how they be white when it come out and be hanging and all that. It be just like that, but He didn't get stuck, so I'm just hoping she caught off that. I ain't have my AI. I'd have did an AI breeding if I'd had my stuff, my right stuff with me. I didn't have my syringe. You know, if you need to do an AI breeding, you don't need nothing but a Ziploc bag and a rubber glove and a syringe. You got to get the sperm out the dog, hold him behind that knot back there, hold him behind that knot. It's a knot, hold him behind his sack back there, and you squeezing it. He gonna after you got him hanging out, what you want to do is pull his penis backwards, just like he's stuck in a female dog. Pull it behind him, just like he's stuck in a female dog, and just hold it behind the sack inside of a plastic bag or a jar or something like that, and he'll squirt out. He'll squirt out. Keep him like that for about 30 minutes. Get all the sperm you can get out of him. Take it, put it in the syringe, hold your girl dog. See, you got to stick your finger in the girl dog, and this conversation is for mature audience. You know what I'm saying? You got to stick your finger in the girl dog, you know, and play with her a little bit, and she'll start tightening up on your finger. When you feel her tightening up on your finger, you know you're in the right area, and you stick that syringe in there, because they got two holes. You go in the pee hole, you're in the wrong hole. You got to go in the other hole, you know, and both holes are side by side. You know, and one way to tell you went in the wrong hole, sometimes you stick too far in the wrong hole, the dog will start peeing, you know, but make sure it's in the right hole, and squirt all your semen in there. Take the female dog. Don't do this yet, but you got to play with her a little bit, because you need for her to be squeezing your finger with her thing. You need for her private parts to be squeezing your fingers while it's on the inside. That's letting you know that she releasing eggs. She releasing eggs when it's doing that. That's the same thing when you look at your boy dog and your female hooked to each other, and you see his butthole going like this. When he hooked to her, that's when he's shooting sperm out in him. You know, so you holding her, and then once you get all that sperm in her, and once you done did that for a few minutes and she done squeeze your finger, then you want to take her and hold her back legs in the air a little bit, just so it drain down. You know, just hold them up higher than her head is. You don't got to hold them all the way in the air, but hold it higher than her head is. You know, once you do that, 30, you know, just do everything like a real breeding. If real breeding take 30 minutes, you do everything 30 minutes. Hold up with the sperm draining down in them. You know what I'm saying? Hey, I did it one time and it caught. You know, and then I did another dog, you know, a bunch of times and she didn't take. But I had did something else with that AI breeding. I added the sperm extender to it. And I didn't know what I was doing, experimenting with that sperm extender. And man, I screwed the whole thing up. You know what I'm saying? Screwed the whole thing up. But the dog that I did get the good AI breeding from, that was Champion Little Country. The dog that I told y'all went blind and won his fourth one. That was Champion Little Country. You know, and he was bred to one of Mr. Truitt dogs down there. Some of that blood that he had off that stuff. But yeah, man, just give me a little AI tip if any of the brothers don't know how to do it. You know, if you ain't want to get down and dirty, you ain't gonna be able to do it. You know, if you want to get down and dirty, you ain't want to be able to do it. I mean, you ain't gonna be able to do it. It's only for the dog men. You know what I'm saying? It's only for the dog men. Dog women too, Sister Mary. You know, I ain't never seen no women do AI breedings though, but you know, I think y'all will leave that to the men. Mm-hmm. Jose said, I'm not down. Hey, I tell you what, man, that's why brothers charge so high for them puppies, man. That's why brothers charge so high, because the things they have to do to get these dogs. You know what I'm saying? The things they have to do to get them. You know, and then you want to get a dog for $250, and this brother done had to beat the dog meat to get puppies off of him. Man, shit me. Who you getting? Who you getting one for $250 from? And I had to do all that to get these puppies out this dog. Shoot. But yeah, man. In that same way, you get your own sperm. You can go on eBay or Amazon and order the nitroglycerin setups to store your sperm in. You can order them off eBay and Amazon. You can get the ones that hold like 15 valves, 10 valves, 12 valves, 50 valves. And all you got to do is go to your regular store and then they hook you up some nitroglycerin. The same way you got them big tanks outside of your house to work the heat and all that stuff. Go get you a tank and hook to your nitroglycerin thing that you bought from eBay. Jack your dog off, put it inside that nitroglycerin tank, and that's all you got to do. And you storing your sperm. See, that tank gonna freeze your sperm. You can't put your sperm in a regular freezer and freeze it. It got to be froze by liquid nitrogen. And then you buy that tank. And you can buy that tank for about $50 or $60, $100 on eBay. It's only gonna hold about 10 valves in it though. You know what I'm saying? But you can still buy it for the low. And then you can buy some that hold more in it on eBay and Amazon. And all you got to do is go to your regular air compressor store and get the liquid nitrogen and hook to your junk. You know what I'm saying? And then you're going to have your shit saved up year after year after year. Long as you got gas in there. You know, long as you got gas in there. So check that out too. It's called a, damn, I forgot what you call it, but it's on eBay. It's on eBay and Amazon. You know what I'm saying? Liquid nitrogen setup, CO2, cyber links or cyber something. You know what I'm talking about. Yes, sir, man. Store that thing up, get them dogs dried out. The boys are talking about drying them out with the water. I'm talking about drying them out with the straws. That motherfucker won't produce a puppy after I get finished with him. Shit. Boy, we'll be selling straws for the rest of the damn next 10 years. Damn, boy, my eyes getting bad, my brothers. I'm trying to read your comment, fam. Hey, when I went to the driver license place, I forgot I left my license, boy. I had to sign some papers. I mean, I left my glasses, and I had to sign some papers. Boy, I was trying to do my best to make sure them people didn't say I had to take that thing for my eyes or whatever. I ain't had my glasses on me either. That'd have been a whole nother week process. I'd have had to go back, come back, all kinds of, man. Let's see. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate everybody in the chat, man. Appreciate everybody in the chat. You got a female that's 50-50 Jeep Chinaman trying to see what way would be the best breeding. Red boy China, you mean Jeep Chinaman? Jeep Chinaman? I mean, I ain't gonna lie to you. I go back towards the Jeep. Either go back towards the Jeep or go back towards the red boy, because they say the red boy Chinaman do pretty good, and they say the red boy Jeep do pretty good. So if you got the red boy in there, they should be pretty decent. Red boy Jeep, red boy Chinaman, red boy Eli, red boy Jeep. Either way it go, both. They say red boy cross good with the Eli. Then they say red boy cross good with the Jeep. So I guess you go with red boy, a pure red boy dog. Don't go with a scattered red boy dog, a pure red boy, because then you ain't gonna be all the way red boy. You got to go with a pure red boy if you're gonna go red boy, you know. And that's just my opinion. Another brother might say another line, and they might click even better, you know. But I know they say the red boy and the Jeep go pretty good together. Red boy and the Eli go pretty good together. Oh, boy, we got some dog talk coming up. I got an interview. Interview coming up. Boy, it's gonna be some brothers mad. I mean, they ain't gonna be mad. Y'all ain't gonna be mad. But there's a lot of Jeep people that gonna be surprised at this stuff that we about to talk about on this next interview. You know, woo wee. Boy, look here. I heard something. I can't even say nothing about that until we do the interview because I ain't wanted to get out and I ain't want nobody else to come with it. You know what I'm saying? Hey, though, I would like to go live with Going Hard and figure out why he started all that with me, though. I ain't gonna lie to you. It don't really matter with me, but I just want to know why. You know, I would like to go live if Going Hard would go live, you know, and we got to have each other faces showing. You know, we can't do the background and that. Like, even though you don't do the background Going Hard, I do the background. But I want to go live, man, because I want to know why y'all started with me for nothing. When all I did was give y'all props. When all I did was show love. You know what I'm saying? I just can't understand it. You know, I don't understand it. It ain't really no big deal, though. It'll make good content, though. Y'all like to talk and yelp and jump around in the background. It'll make good content. You know, I'll get on y'all channel and y'all get on mine. 30 minutes apiece. 30 minutes apiece. Y'all ask me whatever y'all want to ask me, and I'm going to ask y'all whatever I want to ask y'all. You know, and answer it like that. It is what it is, man. You know, we don't got to steal each other content. You can make content with each other. We ain't got to agree on nothing. And I do want to say, man, I like the Mayday dogs, man. I be talking a lot of shit about the Mayday stuff or whatever. But like I said, I got Mayday. I got JD Hall, predominantly Mayday dog. JD Hall mama in the backyard, predominantly Mayday dog. All Mayday with a little bit of buck in them. A red boy and buck. The Michael Myers dog with the back door little Joe. I got old Dan puppy back there. All these Mayday dogs. And I'm up on my channel talking shit about Mayday dogs. So don't get it twisted, my brothers, and think I feel some kind of way. Like I told you, it's fair and unbiased, raw and uncut. You know what I'm saying? The day we talking trash about the Mayday, tomorrow we be talking trash about the Eli. The next day we gonna be talking trash about the red boy. You know? Now, I got a brother Bruce from Facebook. Bruce, if you're watching this, you comment on some comments about Big John on Facebook. I want to get you to come up on this show, my brother, you know, because that's the brother that I told y'all had Cruise Rocky. You know what I'm saying? Live right around the corner from me. You know, I want to get you on the show and ask you why you feel like that about Big J. You know, I want to ask you why you feel like that about Big J. And I want to ask you, being that you feel like that about Big John, why did you want puppies off Big John? That's all I want to know. You see? That's all I want to know, man. Yes, sir. Yeah, man. Salute to all the dog brothers. Who that down there? I Buck. That's you down there. I can't hardly see, man. I Buck. That look like you, man. I don't know what you hope you ain't in there talking trash, because you be talking trash sometimes. I can't read your comment, I Buck, but salute to you, my brother. Salute to you. I ain't kicking nobody out tonight. Even if he is talking trash, I Buck. I don't think he is, though. Hey, if anybody want to talk trash tonight, right now will be the time, because I damn sure can't see what you're saying. Woo. Yeah, man. My boy Nitty, my boy P Nitty got two pups off of his buddy dog. He had a dog off of Buddy and I want to say Shy Girl. And he bred that back to his female that I think is coming down off the Nitro stuff. Nitro is coming down off Crazy Eyes. You know, Nitro was the dog I had. I told you I was coming off Crazy Eyes and Shakur. Nitro is Crazy Eyes Jr. brother. Crazy Eyes Jr. is Buddy's father. You know, my dog Nitro that I had was a one-timer. His brother, Crazy Eyes Jr. And then Crazy Eyes Jr. is Buddy Daddy, and y'all know Buddy. I want to send a big salute out to my brother Magnolia Kennels with the Quick and Red Storm dog down there. He got the Quick and Red Storm dog down there looking damn good right about now. Shout out to my brother Magnolia Kennels. Salute the Arrowhead, man. Salute the Arrowhead for sure. Yeah, man. Trying to see if I can get some yeah, y'all boys gonna be surprised about this Jeep talk when we get this interview. Y'all gonna be surprised about this Jeep talk. You know what I'm saying? And shit. All y'all gotta do is look back and see who them brothers was that got busted in that VA dog fighting stuff in the last 2 years. I tell you, it's 9 of them. 8 of them cooperate with investigators. And ain't nobody calling nobody no names. Ain't nobody saying nothing. Ain't nobody accusing nothing. The damn news people say it. And I'm putting it out there. I ain't saying you did nothing. I'm just putting what the news things say. I done erased it out my phone. Let me see if it's in my deleted messages. My deleted if I still got it, I'm gonna post that. I don't know why it wouldn't let me post the video. Maybe it's because I'm on live now. And I want to send a big shout out to brother Thaxton, man, for winning his case, man. For winning his case for them people trying to wrong him about his Bulldogs, man. I want to send a big shout out to that brother, man. You know what I'm saying? 'Cause I know you're feeling good right about now. You know, and salute to all the Bulldog brothers, all the dog channels, like I always say. Triple J, salute to you, my brother. Fat Bill, salute to you. All the brothers, man. Samurai, salute to you again, my brother. All the dog channels, man, from the top to the bottom. From the top to the bottom. Oh, I buck talking shit. I buck talking trash. I buck say it ain't trash when it's facts. Oh, I hear y'all, buck. Give me some facts tonight. I love to hear your voice, Buck. I dropped the phone number in the chat. We can talk Bulldogs tonight. Let's see how far your Bulldog game go back, Buck. I'm willing to put mine on the line. Let's call it put it on the line night. Let's call put our accolades on the line night. Come on with it, my brother. You ain't got to type that much. We can talk. It's a whole lot easier to talk. Hey, Jose, what you was asking me to define? Because I didn't see that question. I missed that one. Hold on, I see it. I see it. Oh, define the complete animal? You talking about a bulldog or you talking about the German Shepherd dog? A complete animal? A complete animal is a dog that'll breed, a dog that's going to perform, and a dog that's well behaved, well rounded. You know, good attitude. That's a complete dog. If he don't breed, he ain't complete. If he breeding, he ain't performing, he ain't complete. You know, complete dog is got that look, got the attitude, and he everything. He complete. You know, the definition basically explains itself. You know, what's a complete person? A person that's got his shit together. You know, what's a complete dog? A dog that's everything you like about him. You like everything about him. You ain't got nothing to say bad about him. You feel like he a complete dog. If it's something that you don't see that you like, then he ain't a complete dog. He got attitude, he breed, but he got bad posture, or he got easty westy leg. He not a complete dog. If he got good posture, good he breed good, if he on the other end, on the performance end, he not a complete dog. He good on performance, he good on breeding, he good on structure, but he got a bad attitude. You know, if that's not what you looking for, he not a complete dog. If it's an attitude you can't control, he definitely not a complete dog. You know, a complete dog is a well-rounded. The word complete explains itself. No matter what breed of dog it is. If it's a German Shepherd, a complete dog is one that's going to work, one that you could take out there. He going to give you his very last energy working, one that you could have in the house, laying around looking at something on TV, and one that you could take out when you go places. And you got to worry about them lunging out at people. One that kids get messed with. You know what I'm saying? A complete dog. It just depends on the situation at the same time, too. You know, because a complete dog to a police officer ain't gonna be the same thing as a complete dog to a person, a civilian, you know, because they looking for more stuff in their dog. A complete dog to a working man with a pit bull ain't gonna be a complete dog to somebody who just got their dog as a couch potato. You know what I'm saying? Because you might not be looking for everything that completes a dog what I'm looking for. You know, you might not even consider breeding a part of being complete. If he ain't no breeder, then he ain't no complete dog. I buck, man. At least if you're gonna type it a little bit shorter so I can read it, man. I can't read them long paragraphs, man, when I'm squinching to read it. I ain't gonna even try to read it, man. I'll read something short, you know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna read them long paragraphs. Not when I know you talking trash already. Salute the brother Legion's Fury, man. Salute the brother Legion's Fury for donating to the channel, man. Legion's Fury been donating all night, man. Y'all brothers better step y'all game up, especially that one that was asking for J-Bo earlier. You asking for J-Bo, but I asked you for $1 and I ain't seen him no more since. That's how you get rid of him. You know, that's how you get rid of a girl you don't want either. Asking for a couple dollars. I need a couple dollars a day, baby. Shit, get your ass on there. I already knew you wasn't about shit anyway. Same way for a man, ladies. Asking for a couple dollars, you don't want him around. You know what I'm saying? Asking for a couple dollars, he'll get the scat if he ain't got good intentions. You know what I'm saying? I asked that brother for a couple dollars. He looking for J-Bo. I say, shit, well, give me a couple dollars. I'll call J-Bo right now. I ain't heard nothing else from the brother. So he might try to creep up in the chat tomorrow, J-Bo. But when I see him, he gonna have to kick out some bread. Yes, sir. Who that? Socrat's back up in the building. Salute to you, my brother. Salute to you. Yes, sir. Socrats, I was telling them boys, man, I ain't got my glasses on. I'm trying to read the comments best as I can. You know what I'm saying? Trying to read them the best I can. Okay. China Rose. Who China Rose was off of? Chinaman? A Chinaman dog? Oh, yeah, I know a lot of brothers probably had aces out there, man. A lot of brothers had aces, you know what I'm saying? But it ain't my fault. Brothers don't want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? It ain't my fault they don't want to talk about it. So I just got to talk about the ones I know. And I'm standing on it. Like I said in my last video, A lot of brothers, they say Panther took steroids. If Panthers took steroids, he was not a, and I'm going to change that again. If a dog has already had a career already and you decide to use steroids on him one time, I feel like that don't really change his career. But if you're using steroids on that dog the whole career, he ain't no damn ace. You know what I'm saying? If you're using steroids on him in his first shows, he ain't no damn ace. Because when you got an ace, you don't think about nothing but winning. And when you got an ace, your head so big, you ain't thinking the motherfucker could beat you any damn way. If you got an ace. See, I ain't talking about just a winner. If you got an ace, man, you thinking like, hey, listen, bring them on if they can win. How happy would you be, man, if you won knowing you use something else to juice your dog up? Say, man, say, I Buck, let's have a boxing match. I Buck, say, let's dang on have a boxing match and you use steroids and I don't. I guess you ain't cheating then. Fighting is fighting, right? Fighting is fighting. Combat sport is combat sports. Sports is sports. They ain't had nobody that say dog could use steroids because they ain't had no damn nothing to check none of that shit back in the damn days. You know what I'm saying? They ain't had nothing to check none of that. Because you best believe, you know, if it was a way to check it, brothers would have been checking it, and you couldn't come in the ring on none of that shit if it was a way to check it back then. It wasn't a way to check it, so nobody wasn't worrying about it. But I tell you what, I'm sticking to it. Aces don't need steroids. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna say they haven't used them. But they don't need them. I mean, if you got fighting skills, why you need some extra pull to it? Go out there and work, pull weights, run up and down the track, get your endurance up. Yes, sir. Let me see what our book talking about right here, man. And I don't know that McGee had that Panther dog, man. I don't care who dog it was. I don't give a damn if it was Big John. I don't give a damn who dog it was. If you're using steroids, the dog ain't a damn ace. I don't care who dog it was. I don't care which dog it was. You think it mattered to me? You think I'm just picking which dog? I'm saying, oh, if it's the Panther dog, he an ace. He on steroids, it ain't an ace. Man, I don't care which dog it is. The people who I'm talking about, Big John, if a Big John dog on steroids, he ain't a fucking ace. I don't give a damn what you got to say about it or how you feel or which kennel it is. If your dog taking that shit, his ass, that means you seen something in him, you need some help. That's all it is to it. You know what I'm saying? All it is to it. Shit. Only way you gonna take steroids if you feel like you need. What you gonna go take steroids for if you fighting for real? Because you feel like you need an extra boost. You ain't got that thump in you for real. You ain't got that thump in you, so you need an extra boost. That's all it is. Shit. What it matter? Because they old school dog, man. You think they don't lie? You think they don't cheat? You think they all almighty God because they're old school dog, man, and you read about them in the books? If they use steroids, they still won. They still probably had a great dog, but it wasn't an ace. Two reasons it ain't an ace. Two reasons it ain't an ace. It could be an ace, but being that you use steroids, if anybody, just plain out and simple, man. When you use that shit in sports and when you win, your wins do not get any credit. You know what I'm saying? Your wins do not get any credit. You about like the deflate gate and all that other shit. Once brothers find out, they don't give a damn about the steroids, really, because like you said, nobody never cared about steroids in the dog shows. Nobody never cared about it. But we just talking about facts. When you use them, your dog not an ace. Fuck, you go down, school your dog out 15 times. He ain't on steroids when you school him out, but you're gonna take him out on steroids. He don't know how to act now because he ain't did all this schooling on steroids. I don't know. Everybody different, man. Everybody different. Like I said, I just choose to try to get a bulldog. I just choose to try to breed a bulldog. That's why I talk so much shit about the dogs, because a lot of brothers rely on the steroids, so they ain't worrying about getting a mediocre dog. You know what I'm saying? They ain't worrying about that shit. And like I said, how can you tell brothers what you producing when you out here? Hey, I buck, if I'm at your show, right, your dog full of steroids, how can you tell me these puppies gonna be like this dog right here when it's not even that dog right there? You know, I don't care, but I was just making a conversation about it. Cause I know it's a lot of dog men from the top to the bottom, from the big kennels to the small ones. All of them use roids, you know. But at the end of the damn day, they gotta face the damn fact. If they used it, they dog wasn't what the hell they said it was. It just is what it is. Like I said before, I don't care which dog man it is. Man, I got let me drop that thing down in the chat one more time, man. Maybe y'all ain't get that shit, really. Let's drop it down in there one more time. There you go, iBook. Hit me up. Hit me up. OG, what it is, what it is. Salute, my brother. Appreciate you stopping in, fam. Appreciate you stopping in. We live tonight. You know, I had a brother up there earlier talking about, man, you ain't going live. You ain't going live. We can't talk. We can't answer no questions. This and that, this and that. Now I'm live, and where the hell he at? You don't want to ask no questions. You just want to Twitter type and be gangsters. Twitter fingers. You don't want to ask no questions and figure out stuff about dogs and this and that. You just want to start confusion. I got the line open right there. You don't even got to get on. You don't got to click in nothing. All you got to do is call that number and you live. All that stuff you type it, you can say it. You know, we can see if you're a woman. We can see if you're a child. We can see if you're an old man or whoever you is. You know, our book must be damn dark society. You can look at somebody when they talk sometime and then you peep them out. Our book say my show. That's something dark society will say. That's something dark society will say. My show. You must be got me fucked up or something or some shit he said. You know, my show. Oh, let's see. We got a caller. Let's see who this is right here. Oh, let's see. We got a caller. Let's see who this is right here. What's happening? What's happening?
Life was good. This is Socrates. I've been with the dog since the 70s.
Hold up, fam. Hold up. I got an echo.
Life was good. This is Socrates. I've been with the dog since the 70s.
Got an echo, big dog. Hold up.
in real cold in the morning. They'll make around Thanksgiving, October when it's cold, and they'll make it early. So the cold will stop the dog from getting heated up.
Oh, you can hear me? Hey, Legion, I don't know why it's echoing. It was echoing just now, when I was talking on it. It's pretty straight right now. You can still hear me? You can still hear me, bro?
Yeah, I just got to get away from my computer so it won't echo.
Okay.
That's what I'm doing. I'm away. Sorry, I can't see you talking, but yeah, I've been among the dogs from the east to the west coast. I've seen the white blood. I've seen everything. All the dogs everywhere.
You say you knew Mr. Till?
Yes, knew him personally. I knew the Patsy La Pasa very well.
That's what's up, man. That's what's up.
So I grew up around that in North Carolina. So yeah, I just grew up. I've been around them since I've been 17.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I'm glad you called in tonight, man. I know
Mountain Man personally too. I know Fat Bill. Fat Bill knows me.
Okay.
East to West Coast. So Howard Till trained me how to do a keep. They used a lot of chicken and rice. That was the old keep. It was a very simple keep. But I've seen most of I saw the triple out red stuff.
Yeah.
I saw like 4 or 5 times inbred red boy dogs. They were game.
Hold on for a minute, bro. Hold on for a split second. Damn dog starting to bark outside.
But you made me laugh because you said one time you went to a dog's. You found out the referee conditioned the dog. I had a friend. He went to Hargrove's, and he said that Hargrove's referee, but he didn't know Hargrove bred that dog.
Damn.
So he would give him a long count. The other dog, he'd give that dog his own, the dog he bred. He would count like 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. So there's a lot of stuff going on. These dog men, you got to be pretty, not be naive or gullible. Come lose your money again.
Yeah. 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 Shit, man, I ain't gonna lie. The people I would love to get you up here. When I got questions I can ask you, as far as sit down and think some questions I can ask you, because you sound like you know a lot of brothers in the dog game. Brothers get some good stories from, man.
Yeah, I knew Pineapple Kid here in California. I saw a lot of the early stuff of Chinamen. A lot of it was here in California, in Northern California. A lot of that stuff was, if the mentor of the person used steroids, then they're going to use steroids.
Yeah. Now
it's just
go ahead, bro. My fault.
But you have to remember steroids. If you use them too much on a female dog, I had a friend who won against the Sorrell's dog, and he used the steroids, and he said his dog could never be bred again. It would eat for like a day, but you can't breed them. You'll destroy them. The reproduction value goes down.
Yep. You're right about that, bro. You're right about that. And I mean, like, what's more important? Like, brothers start using that stuff, then your dog don't breed. He might breed. I seen a dog, bro. He wouldn't shoot no liquid out, period. I'm talking about when he get back there and say if you try to AI breed him, no liquid come out of the dog, period, at all. But then I know brothers who were sterile, who dogs were all the way sterile, and they still had shot liquid out, but it just ain't had, the sperm was dead. It just ain't had no living sperm in it. So I don't know what was wrong with that dog that actually didn't shoot no fluid out, period. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man.
I want you to know it was a lot different. And when I was younger, there's a lot of, like the game changed quite a bit. It changed the way. Usually when people go out and there was a lot of rolling going on. Like you go into rural areas and you just sit down there, have a beer, and they would just roll their dog to see what their dog had. And that most of it was just people rolling dogs.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And then you would be invited, and if your dog started winning, you'd ask them, "Hey, you want to stop?" Because you're just doing it as a sportsmanship. There's no money involved. Sometimes though they would bet on you.
Yeah.
The betting would. They would say, all of a sudden say, "Oh yeah, it's this," but let's see your dog go another 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
And and then it would be more serious.
Yeah. You're right about that.
But I never lost any bets except that one with the Panther dog. I found out once they started using steroids, I was trained by the dogman to look for tells on the dog because the dogs will tell on each other.
Mm-hmm.
You can look at the micro facial features of the dog. You can tell how the tail is. You can tell the dog's about the cur. You can tell, I was trained by the best on that stuff. So I could go in and I could make a bet and I could win.
Yes, sir. The brother asked who I was talking to down in the chat. Socrates, man. I'm talking to Socrates. Is that how I pronounce it, bro? Socrates. How you pronounce that? Your tag.
Socrates.
Okay, I'm saying it all messed up. Socrates.
Yes.
That's Socrates, man.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. I'm saying it all wrong, man. I've been wondering how you pronounce it because I've been saying it wrong the whole time.
Yeah, Socrates is a philosopher. I studied him. I basically applied everything I learned on the dogs, and I grew up in North Carolina. I'm an Army brat, so I came to North Carolina, and then I wanted pit bulls, and we had some dogs, mixed, but it was they weren't, you couldn't find them in any kind of dog pound or anything. It was so rare. All the people who had any pit bulls knew each other. It was like you knew everybody.
Yep.
And you were welcome everywhere. I go up to see Mountain Man. I go to Patsy the Posse's house. I go to Mike George's place. I go to Bradshaw's places. You could go anywhere. It was like a brotherhood more.
Mm-hmm.
People just welcomed you.
Yep. You're right about that.
It's not the same anymore. The dogs were different too. The dogs were more like, a lot of people had them like family dogs that had them. They weren't really just for one purpose.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
It wasn't that, like, I would say now it's changed. The dogs have changed. I noticed the characteristics are different. And I noticed the original Red Boy dogs that I saw, you get some that would be like red and white and brindle in them. A lot of the Red Boys I see now look more like buckskin with black mask, and they might have a red nose, which sort of surprises me because the colors changed. Because most of the ones I saw were pretty well red nose and red and white.
Mm-hmm. You don't see that brindle color coming in them no more either. That red brindle color, you don't really see that no more. Not really.
Yeah, I had some of those original type triple out red dogs, where that was big in my area. The triple out red dog.
Yeah.
Red off Red Boy, but had some stuff off that. I wish I still had it, but it was like I had a white and brindle. It was brindle patches and white. Beautiful dog. Beautiful dog.
Had brindle patches on it.
Yeah, It was beautiful.
What is a red nose?
Yes.
Okay.
There was also some. There were some pure Colby dogs. I had a friend with a pure Colby dog. She was cold, but anything you bred to her, you were going to get something good. She's cold as can be, but you could breed anything to her. I don't care what it was. It would be a game dog.
And she was cold.
Cold as can be.
Yep. I believe you, bro. I seen them do it. Cold dogs will throw some hot ones.
Yeah. I had the stuff I had was basically I had, lighter stuff was, there's a guy named Dean Clemens, because I went to go Howard Teal, and I asked him how the dogs were bred he had. And there was a group there. There was Mr. LaPasse, Dean Clemens, and Howard Teal. And they would get most of their dogs from Colby. And so they had a lot of the Colby dogs, because people asked. I saw you one time online asking, how Tramp Red Boy was bred, and I asked for Howard Teal why he gave up Tramp Red Boy, because I was very curious. I went to his place. He was about 90 years old at the time.
Yeah.
And he had no choice. He had to give R.E. Bass Red Boy because he owed him money. So he said he couldn't stop him. He says, well, I owe him money, so he took him. But there's a lot of stories, because I asked Howard Till how those dogs are bred. He says, look, I'm not the breeder. He says the guy who's the breeder is Dean Clemens. So I went to see Dean Clemens. He was at a retirement home and talked to him. And he told me that, and you don't see it in any of the pedigrees where his name's on it. He actually was at the fight of Dibo himself. I asked him how that fight went. That was interesting. He didn't like Dibo, by the way, and he conditioned him and handled him. But that was amazing. He said the biggest cur he ever saw because he had the biggest teeth.
Dibo?
He says
he said Dibo was the biggest cur he ever saw.
Yeah, because back then they had a different way of looking at dogs.
Yeah.
They didn't trust these kind of dogs that were destroyers. So to them, if you can't game test them and put them longer, they're just a cur. But he had big teeth. He kept on telling me that dog had the biggest teeth I ever seen in my life.
Damn.
Fangs.
Damn.
But and then I asked him, because I asked him about breeding, and he was the breeder, man. He could talk for hours on breeding. I mean, he knew it like I never know human. But he said he got his main dogs from his Leitner dogs. He had a buddy who was in the Air Force or something in Colorado, and he contacted Leitner himself, who was getting out of the game, and his buddy snuck the 7 pure Leitner dogs onto the plane and flew them into South Carolina.
So we got them Lightning dogs.
So that's what I'm thinking. I always wonder about where the hell that Red Boy comes from, that red nose. But Dean Clemens was the breeder of all of them there, and he had 7 pure Leitner dogs from Leitner himself. So that's, I mean, these old dog men, they didn't talk much. Nope. They did not talk, and they wouldn't give any of their secrets away.
Yep, you right about that, bro. You right about that.
They wouldn't say anything. They were, I mean, you can, and there were always dogs, which I thought were interesting. There was dogs around, and one dog was being passed to everybody, and was a brindle dog. And he was a man biter, though, but you ask him how he was bred, nobody would tell you. And I come to the conclusion because they stole that dog.
Damn.
So even back then, people would steal dogs. But we had like the Paladin dogs. I saw the Paladin blood before. You don't hear much about it anymore, but the Paladin blood was pretty good.
You like that?
There's better, but I thought it was pretty good. It was pretty rough, and it was okay. And I think the Miller bred that dog. I didn't know Miller himself.
Man! Now that you say Miller, okay. Now we talking the same language real quick. Just for a few seconds. Why you said Miller? All right, we got a Paladin dog that we just bred to our Red Boy Jocko, Big John stuff. If y'all brothers see them black dogs that's in them Big John dogs now, that's coming down from Miller's that he just mentioned. The Paladin dog, Paladin stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, that's coming down off that same stuff right there. Yep. They bred the Big John stuff to a female and kept 2 puppies off the litter, off the Paladin stuff. The Paladin dog, Paladin and Frisco dog was what she was, and they kept 2 puppies off that, and then start breeding that back into their stock. Start breeding that back into their stock. Start breeding that back into their stock. But that was that Miller stuff though.
That was, I'm going to tell you, that was that match between Bradshaw's Big Head, which is a Paladin dog, and they had a dog called Lucifer. It was a triple red dog. It was buckskin with green eyes. Never forget that. It was a beautiful dog, and these dog men are really tricky. I'm telling you, they will set up another person fast. And he took that Big Head dog, and they rolled it in the heat. And he knew his dog couldn't take the heat. Bradshaw knew his dog couldn't take the heat. And Mike George had his triple out red, he had a Lucifer dog. And he basically, you know, the big head dog, the Paladin blood, just stopped. He was in shock from the heat.
Yeah.
But then, and his dog was 15 pounds lighter, and so he started badgering Bradshaw, and Bradshaw telling Bradshaw, your dog is a cur, all this stuff, and he goes, okay, you want a match? Because he knew this is an old dog, man. This guy's not a joke.
Yeah.
So what he did is he hand walked that dog every damn night on the railroad tracks before he went to work. And he was an iron worker, so he's tougher than hell. And he goes to work every day and comes home, and he hand walked that damn dog. And then they matched. I think it was like one day after Christmas Day or something, and it was colder than hell. And they went into it, and you could tell right away, that dog was going to last in there. And the other dog was incredible dog, but doing everything it had. It was fancy. It could fight. It could turn. It could do everything. It was a nose dog, but that dog, that big head dog, just grabbed it by the lower jaw.
Damn.
And just held it. And if your lower jaw is what moves up and down. Your upper jaw doesn't move. It's your lower jaw. So he just held that damn lower jaw till he broke it. He held it. He wouldn't let go of it. And by that time, you can't go up 15 pounds of weight. And Mike George lost.
Is that the same big head that beat one of Chico dogs?
I don't know if he beat the Machiko dogs. I didn't see that, so I can't say anything. But yeah, but there was one dog that they tried everything to beat. It was called Gypsy's Lead. You never hear about it.
Yeah.
It was off that Teal's tip stuff.
And
it was an all black dog. It was off that Teal's tip, and they tried everything because I think Frank Jacobs in Lumberton, they gunned for that dog. They wanted to get that dog so bad. So they went against that dog 3 times in a row. They brought everything. And that Lumberton area in North Carolina has a lot of red boy stuff. So they had red boy up stuff. So they wanted to beat that dog. And the last time they went into it, they had that Gypsy's Lead was losing. And then they thought finally we're winning. And that Gypsy Lead dog grabbed the toenail of the red boy dog and crunched it, and they curd. And then they said after 3 times, they said, it's a curse. Mike George said to me, I can't beat that. I can't beat that dog. It's a curse.
If he grabbed the toenail and made him quit.
The front, yeah.
That's a crucial area though now. If they get that little part where the wrist bend at right there.
Yes.
And man, he might can break one right there now. Get him right there. He might can break one, might stop one. That's kind of you might rather for your dog to get grabbed up in this area in the shoulder part than that little wrist part right where you talking about.
Yeah, he got the toe, and then it was
the toe.
My brother was there, and I don't want to make you feel bad, but my brother went into Chavis. He took a dog down there, a Carver dog, and he beat. I wasn't there, but they beat Chavis in South Carolina with that Carver dog.
Man, shit, you ain't gonna make me feel bad. I like to hear a good story, dog. Shit. Hey, one thing I know, none of them boys was undefeated, man. We might not hear about the stories, but it's good for brothers like you to tell us a story about how would he beat him with a Carver dog?
Yeah, he got Carver. Cummings had got all these dogs off Carver.
Yeah.
I mean, Fox. You hear of Fox Cummings. So Cummings had all these dogs, and he wasn't really a person who matched a role. And his idea, he was like, well, I get them off Carver. They're good. So somebody bought some of his dogs and took that dog down to South Carolina and beat Chavis. But the story wasn't good. The story wasn't that good because they beat the dog, but that dog was a gut dog, so the other dog didn't make it. But it won.
That's what Chavis have. He have them gut dogs. Boy, them gut dogs are, yeah.
So even though that dog won, it was a female. it still didn't make it home.
Yeah. So he won the battle, but he lost the war.
Yeah,
At the end of the day.
but there was all kind of things that were going on back then. It's, you know, you can't be naive. You have to, I see a lot of people saying, well, steroids are not steroids, but if there's no rule against it, and you're going there and they're betting money, they're gonna do whatever it takes to win.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. And I ain't gonna
You
lie
know,
to you, I never looked at steroids like it was cheating because we all know you if long as you don't rub your damn dog, it don't matter about none of the other stuff. You know what I'm saying? The steroids or whatever. That's just my opinion on, far as my dogs. But if you decide you want to take them, I ain't gonna be like, oh man, you on steroids. You on, man, I ain't gonna even think about that junk no more. You ain't gotta even tell me you own it. You know what I'm saying? Because like you said, it don't matter. Nobody never cared. It was never a time where a person was gonna even ask you, are you on steroids or not? You know what I'm saying?
but there's people, even the people who give their dogs steroids, take them themselves, and I can mention some names, but I feel it's better not to.
Oh yeah, then the first time I got them from a person who was using them themselves. They gave me some Winstraw, and that they was going to the gym taking that themselves.
That's the stuff you want to give, by the way. That's the stuff. It's going to have the effect. It's going to keep the dog lean. But yeah, I just think people use them, and they were like, they knew it down to because they use them mostly just to be able. If you have that, you can train your dog more hours and they recover faster. People don't realize it doesn't make them just stronger. They actually can train them longer and they recover faster. So when you bring them in there, they've already recovered from all the work they've done.
So I guess that's why brothers can get 3 or 4 hours of training out of dog.
Exactly. You got it. They want to get because if you're a lot of people in martial arts use it. I did martial arts is people would just I'd ask people, why are you using it? We're amateurs. We're not going to do anything. And the guy goes, well, I want to train 4 days a week or every day.
Yeah.
And if you do hard training, your body has to recover.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not going to go 3 times a week is pretty heavy already. But they go every day and train hard all the time so they can practice their technique and stuff.
Yeah.
Roy Jones, I think he got banned because he uses steroids. They use it in sports. It's just the way it is.
Yep. Oh yeah, I know, man. And the guy that was telling me about it before, when he telling me how he used it, he was like, it's the same exact thing like you were saying. Work the dog on it. You know what I'm saying? Work the dog on it, and just like you said, you can get longer work hours. By the time you at the end of your 8-week keep, instead of doing 30, 45 minutes, an hour on your treadmill, you getting 3 hours on that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? And like you said, it makes a dog where he work long. So when brothers be like, man, how you get 2 or 3 hours on the treadmill? Hey, you answer the question right there. A lot of brothers might not say they do it, but somebody will juice up a little bit.
Yeah, it's in sports. It works, but I think I have to say morally, I think it hurts the sport really bad because, like you said, and made a good point, and I always thought about that. So you have a dog that's won 3 times, or it's ROM because all its offspring have been on that. So China Rose, fantastic dog. Saw her; she's unbelievable. I thought Chinaman is the truth, and so but she was on steroids and she made RON for Chinaman. I think she would have won without the steroids if she was that good. Yeah. But they're going to use it. But the problem is you're always going to be suspect of a champion who's on the steroids because you don't know what his offspring are going to give you if they're game or not. It's always in doubt.
Yep, that's why I say, man.
I think the dogs are less game now because of that. Because they're not put at a limit. Like Dean Clemens, I was talking about, he got out of the sport because he said, they weren't concerned about these destroyers. They were about, seeing the dog scratch, and they wanted to see a game dog. When that started changing, the Coca-Cola generation and stuff, that, a lot of those old-time dogmen dropped out.
So he's saying he was about seeing the dog come across the scratch.
Yes, that's what the whole idea was.
That's how I came up in it, bro. It was about the scratch to me.
but now, you can't, that's changed. That's, one thing I know about life is you can't go back in the past. It's all that's over.
Yep.
And I'm going to tell you, I don't know if anybody knows Scott Cohen, but he was helping Patsy LaPasse. Fat Bill knows he died, and I tell you, some of these people pay a heavy cost. He spent, I would say, 40 years in the dogs, 40 solid years. He got the white blood, and he had a dog off my stuff. He says that's the dog he got off me was the best dog around.
Dang.
I bred his cold, pure Colby dog with my she was off of Gypsy's lead. She was a offspring, but she went to Ruby, which was my brother's dog, which was a Till's Tips dog. And he said that dog, man, he says that dog produced more dogs overseas than any dog in the world because it just kept on producing.
Dang.
But it didn't have much of a mouth, but it wouldn't quit. It was a different type of dog being bred back then.
Mm-hmm.
Then now when you get those Zebo Panther dogs and stuff, they don't care. They're going to crush whatever you got in front of you. They would take out, like that Panther dog took out the shoulders of the dog and then went right for the back end. So both shoulders are gone and the back end's gone. That's it. It's over.
Why you think the Panther dog isn't as popular as he was maybe during the McGee era?
Because he wasn't
being that they was crushing, being that they was biting like that and crushing like that.
The problem with that, like the McGraw Snowball blood, the Zebo, the Panthers off Zebo, a lot of that Henley's Big Boy, the McGraw Snowball, that's Dibo stuff. It had a great ability, but it just wasn't as game. So you might have crushers, but you're going to have to go through a lot of them because they're not going to be game enough. So I saw one thing I saw like a 5-time tramp inbred dog. I couldn't believe it. It was bred 5 times off Tramp Red Boy.
Dang.
And the guy bought it off Jamie Summers. I think that was Jamie Summers was running because the law was after him. So he was coming up with his dogs. He stopped in North Carolina and says, I need to sell some dogs. And he says, I got to get out of here because I think he got involved in some cocaine or something. But so he passed in North Carolina and he sold it to a good friend of mine. And I couldn't believe it. The pedigree said 5 times. And he says, well, Katie Marlowe, that was her yard dog or yard guy or her boyfriend. I don't know. But so he had a truckload of these Red Boy dogs. But they tried back then I don't know if you know what Henley's Big Boy is.
No.
Well, Henley's Big Boy Mountain Man said he wasn't a cur dog, but he would never scratch. They had different weight. He would never scratch. So I don't know, but if a dog went after him, he would destroy it. Absolutely. So he had that ability. So they took a lot of Henley's Big Boy and mixed it with the Red Boy dogs, and they got dogs that were no mouth and not game. And I think they did that a lot with the Zebo blood. They tried to say, well, Zebo blood, we're going to mix it with the Red Boy blood. But what you got was dogs with no mouth and no gameness. So that experiment there was hundreds of breedings like that. It just didn't work.
Damn.
So it's just.
So the Zebo and the Red Boy ain't really do too good, huh?
No, or the Big Boy blood. Big Boy blood was very popular, though.
Yeah.
There was a lot of Henley's Big Boy stuff. You're seeing a lot of pedigrees. If you actually look at some of, I think some of Garner's stuff, I looked online, some of his hard biting biscuit dog or something. If you look back, they have Henley's Big Boy, I think, in it. I'm not sure.
Oh, damn.
They bred, it was there was a lot of, and there was back then the yards were smaller. You didn't have these big yards. You could have a guy just have 7 or 10 dogs. That was quite normal. The big yards didn't exist. I remember one time I went to a yard. I kid you not. This guy had 100 dogs. I was in shock. and they were all off Atlas Brewer's Wood Snooty stuff. I mean, it was Wood Snooty, man. There was every dog was Wood Snooty. I was like, wow,
Damn.
that was very popular. But I don't hear much about Wood Snooty anymore.
Nope, you don't hear much about that either.
No,
Nope.
like the only one selling a Wood Snooty I know is that I went to Tom Garner's site. He's got some of that Snooty blood or something, but you just don't. The lines disappear. A lot of the inbreeding, I think, like my buddy I told you about, he's been, he was in the dogs forever. I mean, he became like a hermit. That's all he did was his dogs. He would go get food. He would go back behind like these animal rescue places where people would donate dog food. He'd go back there and take it and feed his dogs.
Mm.
I mean, this guy did everything for his dogs. And then finally he said he had the white blood, which is, that stuff was for real. It was as game as the red boy blood, without even gamer, I believe. But it was off that Copeland, old Kobe stuff and bullet stuff. It's really good blood and very rare. And he said he stayed so tight that he finally had to breed brother and sister. And he said he lost his whole line after 40 years.
Damn. Mm.
So, I do believe what Fat Bill said to me many years ago is you got to have some shit in there. Even if it's 1/16, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to have at least something in there. Today I see people just breeding brother, sister.
Yeah.
I don't worry about that. I'm like, like my dog here is so inbred. It's basically, I got a dog. Gonna mention the name where I got it from, but I got this dog and I did a DNA test on it, and this dog came back more inbred than brother, sister.
Mm. Damn.
Like that's just too much.
Yeah.
I just believe that there's more inbreeding now. I mean, the most inbred I really saw back then is they would do father daughter, or basically son mother.
Mm-hmm.
But I noticed they even started back then breeding red boy. For some reason, the red boy blood could take the heavy inbreeding. I don't know why.
Yep, that's probably why the red boy Jocko could take heavy inbreeding through that red boy stuff.
Yeah, it could take but still, after a while, you see these dogs come out. It's like they lose too much intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
That's the first sign, and they become. One thing I noticed is like in 1995, I noticed the man biters started increasing. A lot of these dogs are, not, they're skittish. They're more like there's a lot of man biters in the lines now. I think it's from the inbreeding. I know you don't go out. The more inbred you get more man biters or skittish. You're just afraid.
Mm-hmm. Yep, you're right about that.
And you get dogs that you really can't have around children.
Hey, let me ask you this, Secretary.
Sure. Anything.
Can I get you on another interview?
Yeah, you can get me on another interview.
Because them boys want me to start a whole nother interview off, start off with you and get the second interview. That's what them boys in the chat want. If you can't do it, we can keep on going. But if you can, we'll do another one.
We can continue if you want.
We'll keep it going then, my brother. Keep it going. Keep it
going.
I
mean, I've been around dogs. I got 50 years and stuff, and I've avoided all arrests.
Hey, back then, I don't think it was as hard as it is now either. Like you didn't have to look over your shoulder as much as you have to now, as far as these young boys in this game now had to do, or whatever. Like it was a whole lot more comfortable back then.
Well, when Ricky Jones got into it, there's always, like in the Pitbull community, there's always outlaws. It's never going to stop. It's an outlaw community. That's the truth. There's, for whatever reason. But if you mix drugs and dogs, you're going to go to jail. That's like a one-way ticket to jail. Don't pass go to jail.
Mm-hmm.
You bring way too much heat. The dogs bring heat on you, but the drugs and the dogs And back then, I don't think they knew that, but now, like a lot of this stuff, was kept keeps because there was like moonshine going on. A lot of the dog community, they were involved in moonshining. There's a lot of stuff going on back then, and people, these people would make extra money and then they go bet. So you had the moonshining, which it didn't bring as much heat. But once they started, even like Floyd Hicks, I don't know if you know Floyd Hicks.
I've seen some Hicks dogs,
The assassin dog.
but I'm not sure if them the same ones.
Floyd Hicks had the Assassin 1 and Assassin 2 dogs.
Okay, I heard of assassin dogs.
Yeah, they were basically Bullet Red Boy. The best crosses were Bullet Red Boy. Cotton's Bullet Red Boy Blood crosses the best of all the Red Boy crosses. Nothing beats it. At that time, I don't know now, but he got involved in the drugs, and the people who did, the helicopters would start landing on their property. They come and get them. So that cocaine started a lot of that. The cocaine changed the dog world big time.
Oh yeah.
And that once cocaine got in there, that really changed the dog world, and the police got involved in it now, and they know where there's dogs, they're more likely there will be drugs too, because it's just the way it is. Most of the people are outlaws. I mean, and the ones who weren't were the older ones. I was surprised. They were like Howard Teal and Dean Clemens. These people were, like wearing suits and ties. And he was 90 years old. I'm talking to him. He's still in his suit. and he had to get out of the dogs because he was so into it. I think it was in the 70s or 80s, man. He had a heart attack inside the pit.
Dang.
These guys would die in the pit. And Howard Teal was actually the first international guy. He had a friend who had a plane. He'd fly to Canada. He'd fly to Mexico. He would fly everywhere.
Yeah.
They called him the Carolina Hawk. That was his name, the Carolina Hawk.
So he let Mr. Bass get Red Boy as a grown dog?
Yeah, because he said basically he owed him money. Because I asked him, I said, "Why'd you give up your best dog?" He says, "I guess he made a bet against Bass and he lost or something."
Yeah.
So he said, back then, you just give up your dog.
Man.
And I saw a lot of them in my time. We had a lot of the Medlands, Outlaw, the Turkey Dog. There was a lot of the dogs in the area were basically, like I said, Mr. LaPace, Dean Clemens, and Howard Teal were like a trifecta, and they were getting they were getting their dogs either from Colby, or they were getting them from Leitner, and then they were getting some of that. I guess there's that Eli blood. I think LaPace was getting some of that Eli blood. They had but basically they were just all three friends. And I remember talking to Patsy LaPace. She says they would just come over to the house. Everybody get on the roof, and then they would just roll. She watched the bullet dog go. God's bullet. But it was a different time. You're not going to get that way now. It's going to be a different time. But it's sort of a lot of people. I want to tell people as a warning: you can't be naive, because they will. People, a lot of dogmen will sell you a cur in a New York second. Even if they'll tell you that dog is good, you pay $3,000 or $4,000 for an adult dog, you take it home and you roll it. It's a cur. You're not getting your money back.
No, sir. No, sir. You ain't getting no money back now. He ain't look like that when I gave him to you.
That's what I'm saying. So people don't realize. I had a guy he's probably about 80 years old now, and I was talking to him, and he said, like I've never met Boudreaux or another current guy, but he said he went down there and about two full-grown dogs, paid full money, and they were game tested. He took them home, and they both curred in 20 minutes.
I wanted to put them on each other.
I'm not sure, but I doubt he would do that. But
hey, I did that. I ain't mean to cut y'all. Me and my partner got 2 dogs off Mayday. And matter of fact, they went off Mayday. I lied. They was off Lock and Load. The dog that Crossroad had Lock and Load. There was 2 dogs we got off. They're probably about 15 months old. Man, and one of them, his was cow patch red nose, and mine was brown with a black mask, like Mayday color. Man, we got them as soon as we got them dogs to the house, man, we put them on each other. And the same exact thing that you said. Neither one of them dogs wasn't shit. But they was young prospects. He didn't tell us there was no phenomenal nothing. It was about like 15 months old, something like that. You know what I'm saying?
I was in the desert of Arizona, and I'm not sure where I was, but they had a convention, and they had this guy. He got a dog that was conditioned and sent to him heavy, and the deacon hunter's red or deacon blood or something, or whatever. He paid like big money for it, had it shipped out, had everything. And I was like, they asked me about it. I said, well, the red boy dogs are pretty good from what I've seen. I mean, and they made a liar out of it, because that dog in 20 minutes curd. It was curd badly. Like in the first minute, it was turning and running for the wall. I was like, what the hell?
Damn.
And I looked at it, everybody looked at me, and I go, oh, somebody's money was taken. So I don't know what to say. So, you still have to look at the dog. I don't care what the papers say.
Yeah. You're right about that. Yeah.
And also, like the white blood, I had some of that white blood. That was the truth, the absolute truth. But the thing is, I got the dog. It was the absolute truth. Never could breed the dog. Got the dog from a friend of mine. I still think he's a friend, but the thing had cancer and never could be bred.
Damn.
Cancer, but things like that happen. Sometimes these dogs are cursed to you.
Yeah.
I've heard many dog men go, I'm out of this because I remember I was talking to Mike George. I respect him. He's an up and front guy. He's a really good man. He's been out of it for a long time. But he was telling me that he had his last dog left off his line. All the dogs are gone. He just had one dog. He said he felt so good. He had the dog out in chain. He went out. It was a lightning storm, and his dog was electrocuted. He said, "That's it. I'm cursed. No more." He never got no dog. He said, "That's it."
Yeah, I feel on that.
People don't realize there's a price. You could be 40 years on these dogs, and you could come up with nothing in the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I had one guy. He's still around. Won't mention his name. He had he went into Rebel Kennels and won. One of the few people who went against him and won. He went against one of his top dogs, and his dog was off King Solomon, Olston Flow blood.
Damn.
And he said this dog was a champion. I told Fat Bill he'll get the ass. I said I saw her go, and I saw Bolero go, and I said Bolero can't have a chance to his dog. I sort of upset him, but I said it's the truth. And they're about the same weight. He told me, no, that dog is heavier. So I said, okay, whatever. I said, okay.
What happened?
But so basically, this dog was champion, everything. He bred everything to that dog, and he told me nothing ever worked.
Mm.
And he said there was one dog left to do it, and it was like a half brother or something. And he said that it would be too inbred, so he didn't do it. But his first dog was a champion.
Damn.
The first dog, and everything after that, he never could get any dog.
Hey, that's bad sometimes, man. Because if you start off with a champion or a grand champion in your first dog, it's a great chance that you may not have another dog like that ever again.
Yes, and that's what my buddy told me. He says he's spoiled because his first dog was that good, so he doesn't mess with them anymore. He said because he said he did everything, he could get another one.
It's like you're gonna be looking for something, you're gonna be trying to get something you can't get no more because he saw his standard so high at the beginning.
It's like chasing that high. You'll never get that first high again.
Yep. Hey, you're right about that, bro. You're right about that. Hey, that's a curse now when you get a grand champion or a champion when you first get in the game. It's good because you didn't have to waste a lot of money, but like you said, he did still end up wasting money trying to chase that high again, trying to chase that high. I know
So
that
I did.
feeling, boy.
So I asked Howard Teal because most of my dogs were basically were cur. And I asked Howard Teal. I said at the time, I said, "How do I get a game dog?" And he looked at me and he started laughing like hell. And he said to me, "Somebody's got to give it to you."
Hey, that's what I was about to say. Hey, somebody got to get to you.
But I asked Howard Till how he got to the dogs, and he said, I guess he was down in the Great Depression, or he's in depression. He was an old guy. He's a stand-up guy, and he told me, he said that he got into the dogs because the only job he could get was he had to round up these cattle or bulls.
Yeah.
And he said for every one that he rounded up and brought back, he got $1.
Mm.
So he started out with the pit bulls because he had a half pit bull cross or something, and it would go grab the dog by the nose and he'd bring it back.
Damn.
So that's how Howard Till got into it. He says, so the dogs kept him alive during the Depression.
Damn.
So it's sort of interesting, but yeah, a lot of things. I have a good memory for being as old as I am, but I do remember I grew up with that stuff, and I remember all that stuff. Now I'm just a computer dog man.
I feel you on that. That same thing like me. I'm just a computer dog man. Far as that type of stuff right there. You know what I'm saying? Yes, sir, man.
Because I've seen too many. There was 1995. This is crazy. They had a convention downtown San Francisco, and it was basically like they got a warehouse, and the warehouse was right by where the police are. I mean, and they made a giant convention and this is like downtown, and there's cars were parked everywhere around this warehouse, and they made noise like hell. And that basically in 1995, they basically wiped out all the dog men. They went in there and they busted everybody.
Damn.
And I was not invited, and I was happy.
I know you was, bro. I know you was. I'm glad I ain't make that event. That's what I'll be saying. I'm glad I ain't make that one.
But yeah, I always consider myself the number 2 man.
Yeah.
A lot. They need somebody who's steady and to help out, like helping with washing the dog or watching the dog. Because I'm gonna tell you, if the money's high enough, that guy may not. People don't realize that guy is probably not going to rub his dog, but one of his entourage has got enough money bet. If he gets close to that dog, he will rub it. So a lot of people don't realize, the guy who rubbed the dog may not even be the guy who's the owner of the dog.
Mm-hmm.
And there's been a good news. I've heard that were certain dogs made champion because that guy didn't rub the dog, but his mentor rubbed it for him.
Now, how would you think they play that when, say, if I don't know my friend rubbed the dog and we get busted for rubbing the dog, but I didn't rub it. How would that play out on my behalf, far as me losing, and that's my dog, but my homeboy rubbed him and made me. I guess I'll be yeah.
You would be gone. In my time, if they thought, there's people who rub dogs, but I never heard any man confess to it because he'd be dead.
Yeah, yeah.
They wouldn't make it. Like they would say when I was younger. There's a lot.
What'd you say, bro? You got cut off on me.
They're quietly telling you better get out of their face, or you're going to be in the forest, and he's going to be digging, getting some shovels to bury you. That's what they used to say. The guy told you there's a lot of trees around here. He starts looking at the trees. You better just move the hell away from that guy immediately, because he's not playing with you.
I hear you on that, bro.
Or they tell you they got a lot of trees around you. You just better be moving. But we had one dog that was. You never hear about somebody say there was a dog called Jammer, and I think it was that Guru Blood or something. And that dog made a fortune in North Carolina. That dog would, I had one guy. He went into it, and he said to me, he said that dog would turn and twist and cry and do everything, and it would goof the other dog's head up, and then he would always scratch.
Damn.
He said they called that dog the gambler delight. It took a lot of people's money. Another thing that people did that I don't think people realized back then is there was one guy. He's a big dog man in Georgia, and he told me this. He said that, man, I think he was the breeder of Chinaman, but anyway, he told me, he says everywhere they went back there, they would condition the hell out of the dog, man. And he would condition any dog to perfection. And he said to me, they would go someplace they couldn't get any bets against their dog because everybody was betting for their dog.
Yeah.
So, you got to realize. So what they did is they brought a 20-minute curve, and they would have somebody, on the outskirts of the ring, and they would take in all the bets against their dog. And then in 20 minutes, they just cleaned house because their dog was going to occur. They knew it would occur in 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So they brought a dog, and they had their buddies bet against their dog because they would never lose. So they said, okay, we want to make some money. So they just, there's, I've seen things that just like, I saw one dog that it was a dog off Carver. It was a really good dog. And it could be about anything, but Fat Bill got a dog, and he conditioned the hell out of that dog, and he won against that Carver dog.
Yeah.
And then this guy bought that dog. Oh, that dog is so great, and all this stuff. He said, I'm gonna buy that damn dog. And then he bought that dog, and then next time out, it occurred.
Damn.
Because you have to realize that if somebody's using steroids on a dog, it's going to make a mediocre dog really good. So I don't know. I'm not going to say he used them, but a dog going from incredible to just lame. So people would do it, and then and then he sold it to him and matched back. He matched back into the dog he sold into him and won.
Damn. Sold him and went back into him and beat him.
Yeah, because he knew what it would take. Whatever he did, he knew what it would take to win. So you got to be very careful if somebody sells you a dog and then he says, "I'm going to match back into you."
Yeah. Now I had one that it wasn't my dog. I was working him for somebody, back then, and I worked him, and we took him out and we beat a red boy Jocko. It was a Chinaman or Eli Jeep dog. That's what it was, Eli Jeep. And we beat a red boy Jocko dog. It was probably about 15 minutes. And then it wasn't my dog. I just conditioned him. But then that brother wanted to hook, into a particular camp. And that camp rode with me. And that camp used one of my dogs. You know what I'm saying? My dog went into the same dog that I had conditioned for his last show. But the thing about it, the dude didn't know how to condition the way I knew how to condition. So he came in, like I was telling the brothers many videos ago, he came in about 2 pounds lighter. He was supposed to be 47. He came in like 45. You know what I'm saying? And I was like 46, right at 47. He came in like 45, going on towards 44. And I'm talking about, you could just see his dog was just skinny, looking poor, and he had too much pride to say he didn't want to do it. It wasn't that much bread, only about $500 or something like that. He had too much pride to say, man, I'm just gonna go home and shit. That was the Nitro dog. That's how I made the Nitro dog a one-time winner. Nitro off Crazy Eyes and Shakur. That's how I made Nitro a one-time. Bought him in on the 8. Man,
a lot of people don't realize, these like old dogmen that were just incredible conditioners, and a lot of them would pay the forfeit. They were a pound, a pound or two makes a hell of a difference.
Yep.
And I've seen people try to match into a dog that's 10 to 15 pounds heavier than your dog. That's suicidal.
Yeah, you gotta have a straight killer back then to do something like that, bro. 15 pounds heavier, like you said, that's suicidal.
They would do those kind of things. But this, I saw a lot of the schoolboy red dogs. There was a Jeep Trap Red Boy here in California. Have you heard of those dogs?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Was there the Jeep Tramp Red Boy?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
That was popular. Schoolboy Red. He did very well. I saw some of his stuff go. That was the truth. His dogs were the truth. They were game.
Oh damn. Yeah, I ain't never had none of that big red stuff. I had something coming down off the big red stuff, more modern day time, but I can't tell you nothing about it because it's more modern day time. But back then I didn't have anything off that.
Yeah, I don't know, his dogs were just, I had friends who had it. I saw it win. I saw it lose to it, but it would go on. Man. That stuff would not stop.
Damn.
But yeah, I know him very well. I've been in his house.
You seen any them yellow shows?
No, I haven't seen
or Jeep shows or Chinaman.
I saw a lot of Chinaman stuff here. A lot of Chinaman blood China Rose was up here. A lot of Chinaman dogs were very popular in this area.
Yeah.
And I saw a Chinaman dog. I think his name was, I want to say Adolf or something, Adolf. And I was going to one of Schoolboy Red's dogs. And it looked to me like that dog, it gave me I was looking at that dog and it gave me the look. Do you ever get the look from another dog?
What, a bite you look or a cur look?
No, like I'm here, like it stares you like right into your soul. You look at the You ever get that? I call it the look.
Yeah.
That's intense. You feel like your soul's like something happened there, exchange.
Yeah,
when it gave me the look, it was utterly, this is a Chinaman dog. It was utterly confident it was going to win, and it did win. It knew.
Yeah, they looking straight through your soul.
Yeah, it was like I was like, man, I never had that before. After that, I was like, whoa, this dog gave me the look. And then I turned around and looked at this other guy, and he says, did you see that? He says, yeah, I gave you the look. I said, damn, I never had that happen before.
Hey, sometimes you can look at him and like you said, it looked like he mean business. You know what I'm saying? It looked like he ain't gonna be no joke, you know.
But that dog later on, that dog later on, I think I won like 2 more times, but eventually it occurred. But it just had ability. It had, I noticed the dogs they don't have to, they can be game enough to win. They may not be game, but they're game enough to win. I don't think a lot of people realize that. You don't have to have a dead game dog to win. Yeah. People could think dog and they know it's not a dead game dog, but it's game enough to win because it's got enough ability that it can go 45 minutes and they'll, off the chain. And most of these certain dogs, if they're ahead, they're not going to quit.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm not going to quit. I'm ahead.
Yep.
But the minute that dog would think it's not ahead, it will occur and quit right away.
Yep, you're right about that.
That's where the gameness comes in, where they're like, okay, I'm going to continue. But yeah, so there's a lot of facets to these dogs. I mean, you could go on for hours and hours. I mean, I've seen about so much stuff. I saw a lot of the Arizona dogs. The first bolio dogs I saw were here
on the West Coast.
Yeah, I saw the bolio dogs, and I knew a lot of people who knew Pat Patrick, but I never went to go see him. I know people go up there try to get dogs through him. But I have to say one thing. Even my friend had a bolio dog, and he got it, and the guy gave it to him saying it's a cur. So he said, I just feel good about this dog. And I said, it's a cur. He says, yeah, but I just feel good about this dog. And he rolled that dog, and I never seen it against the top a top guru, I don't know, Gurux dog, Girux, the Canadian stuff.
Yeah, I know you talking about.
And this, and man, that dog, it just kept wrestling and going and going. And I said, that's the best fighting curve I've ever seen. It was like, what the hell is going on? Eventually it lost, but even when it lost, it was like, I felt my friend did that dog wrong because it was supposed to be a roll. And the other dog, I'm not going to say what dog man had it, but he told me, oh, it was supposed to match yesterday, but they canceled and forfeited. So I said, you're going to a fully conditioned dog. He didn't tell us that. And then he says, oh, by the way, so this will make you laugh. Can we write down that as a match? I want to put a win on this dog.
Damn.
So this is a seasoned dog, man. So it happens. I'm telling you, I've seen people, they go into roll a dog, and then the guy will say, okay, you roll against my conditioned dog. Then they say, I'm going to write this up as a match. So it happens more than you think.
Yeah.
So a lot of those wins, sometimes you think it's basically a role that turns into and sometimes that role is better than a match that I've seen.
Hey,
you know,
you're right, bro.
But that happens a lot. I think there's a lot of myths about the dog. There's a lot of stuff. It's just, it is still a dog. It's not a machine. People think it's like a machine. No, it's a dog. It could have a bad day. It could have a good day.
Yep, you're right about that.
And I mean, I remember Mike George told me, I learned a lot from him. He says, you know what? His stuff was very game. And he says, yeah, but if I roll a dog against it every day, it will quit. So you have to realize they're not machines. So they will. And he told me, I was sitting there and I said, can any dog beat a pit bull? I mean, he says, I hate to say this, but I had a Doberman and I wanted to try it one time and it did curve. It did curve one of my pit bulls. I go, what? He goes, yeah, I was amazed. It curved my pit bull. He was snapping and doing all this weird stuff. And I said, you're kidding me. Because I mean, back then, the idea of having your dog even go against the non-pit bull was totally sacrosanct. You didn't do that. You would never let that happen. But he said, yeah, I just tried it to see what would happen. It did curve my dog. And it was a weak pit bull. And I go, whoa. And I said, did you try that again? And he goes, yeah, it finally, the Doberman curved. But there are dogs that, people don't want to say it, but there are dogs that aren't pit bulls that can beat pit bulls.
Yep. You're right about that.
I remember I was walking my Lightner dog when I was in Colorado. And I got across the damn street, halfway across the street, this gigantic Akita. He grabbed my old family red-nosed dog by the head and lifted it up off the ground.
Damn.
I was like, what the hell happened? This giant dog, and it's got my whole dog lifted off the ground. His feet aren't even touching the ground. and my dog was like not panicked. It was like his tail was wagging like it was happy. And next thing I know, I kept the dog on a leash, and I said, damn, my dog is gonna die. And then all of a sudden the dog let go of the dog's head, and my dog had that dog's tongue and pulled out about 18 inches from its mouth and leading in circles and playing with it.
Damn.
And then I was like, and then the police came almost immediately. And then all these people had my dog on a leash, and they actually had that dog attack my dog. I was like in the middle of the road, like crossing the street.
They told them what really happened? They told them the real story?
No, they lied like absolute hell, man. This guy attacked they were like, I just kept quiet. I said, oh shit.
Yeah.
And then the cop came up to me and he just said, oh, I want you to know, I was right up at that hill here and I was having my lunch. And he says, everything they said to me was an absolute lie. I should arrest every one of them. You just walked across the street. I saw the whole thing. He says, what do you want to do? And I just looked at him and go, that's not a big deal. My dog has a scrape on his head. I just want to go home and forget it.
Yeah.
So he went over there and he said, "We know all of you lied, but he just wants to go home and forget it. Is that okay? Because I got to take you to jail if you don't go okay with that."
Yeah.
So I took my dog home and everything was good. And I try to avoid that place because I don't want any problems. So I wanted to tell him I had to go through there, and the guy had his pickup truck, and he had his big ass Kakita back there, and there was a guy telling him, "Tell your dog to go kill that dog. Go tell him." And the guy turned around, looked at me, and he goes, "No way in hell."
Damn.
He said, "No way in hell." But I don't know. There's a lot of people. If you have a pit bull, they'll try to sick their dog on your dog.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I walked away. I just get the hell out of Dodge.
Yep. Hey,
People don't realize
oh, go ahead.
you have to be careful.
Mm-hmm. You're right about
And
that.
and I don't believe anybody should, cross a pit bull with any protection dog. I know you like protection dogs, and I appreciate that. Malinois are good dogs, but I'm not into. It was a no-go in my time. You never had a pit bull trained for that.
Yeah.
But people do it. I mean, that's your thing. It's everybody's thing. It's none of my business.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
But back then, people just didn't cross the pit bull with anything, especially a Doberman or a German Shepherd or a Labrador, man. Because once it goes after people, it's a big problem.
Mm-hmm. You're right about that, now. You're right about that. Hey, Brother Legions first, say, what you can think, in your opinion, is the most popular line in the West Coast right now, or back then?
The white blood here in the Oakland area was off the Copeland stuff, and it was incredibly good back then. That stuff could compete with anything on the planet, anything, and that stuff was so game. I never seen a dog. Some of those dogs would go after their own shadow, and if there was a mirror in front of them, they would go for it. They were just so good. I don't know why, but they were so good.
Yeah.
And that was just a local bred dog, and it was off the Colby stuff, because I think one of the Colbys, John Colby, lived out here or came out here a lot in Sacramento area. So that dog's, there's there are Colby dogs that are just, I'm a big believer in Colby Dime, and the Colby blood was all around really good. And I've seen way back, the Colby blood was really good. It was not a joke. Yeah. And a lot of the Colby stuff is mixed in, like in North Carolina, the Colby Dime. And I hear people saying they don't know how Tramp Red Boy is bred, but I wouldn't, I'm not going to ask Howard Teal, but he did tell me a story one time. They said they had this boy, and it makes me think. He said they had this boy, and he had a pit bull, and he couldn't handle it. So he said, his father was trying to get rid of the dog and with the Howard Teal, and Howard Teal ended up buying my German Shepherd and got that dog. Who knows? Maybe that was Tramp Red Boy. Hey, nobody knows.
You never know. He bought the guy German Shepherd to trade with him.
Yeah, he got the kid a German Shepherd, so he could get this dog running around the neighborhood killing everything.
Hey, ain't no telling, bro. Ain't no telling.
Yeah, but the best, I want to get back to the dogs that were out here at the time. There was, believe it or not, there was a lot of Chinaman blood out here that was doing pretty well. The first generation of Chinaman, it was not a joke. I mean, I can tell you that he was a bona fide good dog. The stuff after a couple generations, a lot of people I know wouldn't have them. Oh. They would not. That's just the way it is. I know. And there's, like, my buddy was there one time, and he said, there's stuff that happened. It's crazy. So my buddy had this white blood, and he had some dogs off of it, but he didn't want to sell it. So one of his, people he was mentoring came to him and says, "I really want a dog." And so he said, "Okay, I'll sell you this dog." So then he went up to see Tom Garner, and he saw the guy with his dog, and Tom Garner had it. Yeah. And he said, "What the hell? Why is my dog here?" And he turned around and he said to him, "Well, you know, he offered me $100 on top of what I needed to pay for the dog."
Damn. Damn.
So that kind of stuff happened, and sometimes, like, Lester Hughes is the GOAT. I like that man, but Patsy LaPasse. You talk about the woman in the dog game. I think she had it pretty damn hard. She
Patsy.
had some good ass dogs. I can't say anything bad about her, but people would come around and like want to buy some of her dogs. She had like a dog named Harley and all this kind of stuff, and and they would come around trying to buy it. And my buddy found out Lester Hughes sent her down there to pick up some dogs. He didn't want to go down there and buy them, but he would send people would send people there. They knew what dogs were good because they knew old man LaPasse.
Yeah.
So they're trying to get her good stuff on the cheap and all kinds of stuff. So they're a woman in the dog game. I think has very difficult because these guys are ruthless.
Mm-hmm.
They can get a good dog. They're not gonna stop.
Yeah.
So I saw the Bolero, Little Miss Homer, one of the Bolero Homer fight. I saw that in the mountains.
Miss Homer and Bolero.
Yeah, but I don't know. It was there were so many homers, but I saw that.
Okay.
And it was pretty clear. It was pretty clear after the first 15 minutes. I don't know. The dog wasn't acting right. It was just like trying. He already was looking. Yeah, I had a Homer dog too, but it died. The Homer dogs, when they got inbred, would have heart murmurs and they would die, especially in the heat.
They weren't good
So
with heat now.
you don't see too many Homer dogs, unless you use the Homer dog. You don't see them. I think when they got inbred, they would get heart murmurs and stuff, and you rare to get a Homer dog. You don't even hear about them anymore.
Yeah.
A lot of the lines, the termite blood and stuff, I don't know that much about them, but they were considered like secondary to the Red Boy stuff. I mean, but they were good on their own too. They weren't too popular where I was at.
The termite dogs.
They weren't so popular, but people had them. They were considered secondary. They weren't considered like top. The Red Boy blood was considered the top blood.
Yeah. Yeah. That's how it was over here too.
I remember hearing about Tant. People come back and tell me about there's Tant's yellow. He started making a name for himself. But I never met him or had any dogs normally off the Jocko crosses. But they were good.
Yeah.
And I had a buddy who did a lot of hog hunting, and he saw a lot of the what's that, Big John blood and stuff. Hog hunting. They did hog hunting too.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I never, asked him what he thought. He liked his stuff better. That's his prerogative.
Now they got one of them Big John dogs bred to a Homer dog as well. Listen, I forgot which one it was. Got the Homer dog in the background. Probably about in third generation. When you go all the way back, that the older dogs coming down off Homer.
But I consider the GOAT of all of them is Howard Till.
Okay.
That guy visited different countries. He conditioned and fought more dogs than any dog man ever.
He probably don't get enough credit either, because a lot of people don't really be, we all know Till had the dogs, but a lot of people don't really talk. Well, tell you the truth, a lot of people really don't have no information on Till besides, maybe his close friends and stuff like that. And, I'm quite sure that when you talked to him, that was a hellified interview. When you talked to him, you say he was 90-some years old?
Yes.
Yeah. I know.
And he was a general. He still had a suit and tie and everything.
Dang.
But I'm backing up because, in this dog where there's other, it's always good to have friends that will tell you their side of how they look at things. So if you think your dog is good, it's good to have a friend say, what do you think about that? Because you can get blind pretty fast.
You're right about that.
But I was talking to one guy, and he was making me laugh. There's always, I wouldn't call them haters, but people with different opinions.
Yeah.
But I found It's okay. It's everybody, like you said. Some people see it one way, or some people see it another way. But and in the dog world, if you don't get burnt, you haven't paid your dues, and you
Mm-hmm.
gotta let it go.
Yep.
You can't hold on to that
You right about that, bro. You right about
because
that.
I would get I was back then. I was in the military too. I got out. I would fight in a drop of a hat. My Bible told me so. But getting around the dog world, if you were in the military, man, they treated you like gold. These guys were all like, World War One, Depression Two. If you were a
Mm-hmm.
soldier, you could get into any dog man's house. These old timers would respect you. If
Yeah,
you were a soldier, they let you in, no problems.
I can believe that.
They were old school. If you're in the military, and I was a young man, they're like, oh man, you're military, you're airborne. They would sit there and talk to you. You had free range. You could go to anywhere. You were welcome.
Yep, I can
It was a
believe that.
different time. The military. You were in the military. Were you an Army brat? You said something about military one time.
Well, I'm from an Army family. My daddy was in the Army, and my brother just got out on Navy. My granddaddy
Yeah,
served in the Army as well.
yeah. My family's like I'm an Army brat. My mother basically was. My father got stationed in Germany, so then I came back to North Carolina. I was 6 years old.
Mm,
It was, but all my brothers went to the military, and two of them had PTSD. I didn't. I went in, but I didn't have to fight. I always tell people I wear white. You can't make me fight.
yeah.
But yeah, my whole family. They were. My father was in Vietnam. My uncles were in Korea. My great grandfather was in Pennsylvania. He was fighting on the Union side.
Any
So,
any of your
and
uncles?
then
Excuse me, I didn't mean
and
to
then
cut you off. Any of your uncles still living that was in the Korean War?
no, they're all dead. They're all dead.
Yeah,
They're all gone.
my
My
grand
father.
my granddaddy was a POW in the Korean War. That's why I was asking. He dead too though.
Yeah, I was. The my on my father's side, they came over here right after the Mayflower, so they were in the French and Indian Wars. They were into everything. We're always at war.
Y'all, you in the military family from the start,
Yeah.
all the way from the beginning.
Yes.
He on that. He on
Uh,
that. I got a friend. His granddaddy, I want to say, fought in the not the Civil War, but well, it might have been the Civil War. That's the last war we had, as far as the country wise, right? For the Civil War, because Revolution, all that was before the Civil War. He had to fight in the Civil War.
but that was. I've been to places in North Carolina. They have these graveyards that nobody knows about the history of it. I've been back there.
Yeah,
They, you know, they have the history that people don't even know. There's a lot of graveyards back there, cemeteries that are covered up, and they were like the slave cemeteries and stuff. You could go back there and look. It's just nobody talks about that history. It's pretty interesting.
mm-hmm. Man, they
But
got not to get off the subject about the dogs and nothing, but they just a couple years back in a little community where I'm from, they just found a
Mhm.
graveyard in the woods. They was clearing out land for development. They found a whole graveyard back there. You know what I'm saying? A whole graveyard, and now they got it like a memorial type thing or whatever. But this just happened a few years ago. They was clearing off some land, build up some buildings and things like that. So
but it was a trip when I was growing up in North Carolina because when I came here, I was 6 years old and I grew up in an army base in Germany. So everything was totally different here in North Carolina.
yeah,
It was like it was a different world. I mean, I just it just blew me away. It's just
yeah,
there's North Carolina is an interesting place. The South is an interesting place. All kind of crap is going on there. I
yeah.
mean, it gets deep.
You're right about that now.
Man. Every North Carolina, every town is different. I
Mm-hmm.
go to one town, be dog man there. I mean, they're when even back then there were a lot of blacks into the dogs. People don't know that. It wasn't. There are people who even way back then they've been in for a long time in North Carolina.
Yep.
That I think people don't. They pass by, but it's good that like that history is coming out too because You know, it shouldn't be passed over.
Yeah, yeah. I feel you on that.
But there was one thing. One time you were talking, I'm gonna tell you, there were still people. You know, like I remember this one guy had a dog, and he, you know, he would not sell this dog to another man. The only reason he wouldn't sell it to him because he was black. So that guy came up to me. I remember many years ago, and I said, "What?" He says he will not sell it to me, and I said, "That's crazy. Just give me the money." And there's a 7-Eleven store, and I just said, "I'm going to go up there, and I'm going to get you that damn dog." So I went up there, and I got him the dog. And the first thing I know, he knew I was getting that dog for that man,
Yeah.
but he did not want, you know, to sell to a black man.
Damn.
So I had to get the dog, and I gave it to him. I said, so that stuff happened, but I don't think that happens anymore. But it was a crazy time.
Yeah.
There people on the history back then. It was crazy.
Yeah.
And then they have the Cherokee, all the Lumberton, the Cherokee Indians.
Yeah.
They were heavily involved in dogs, big time.
Oh, them boys got dogs down there now. Them boys,
they got good damn dogs.
Yeah, them boys still got dogs.
They don't. I'm telling you, they got dogs that top of the line dogs, but you don't hear anything about it. They're pretty quiet.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I remember we used to go to in the Indian reservation, so we wouldn't get in trouble.
That's what Sambo went to down the Indian reservation.
So it's not federal law. So I went to many times to the Indian reservation.
Hey, you go down there, boy, you're on your own. You go down there acting up, you better know how to get the hell up out of there. I'll tell you that. you better figure out a way to get the hell up out of there.
Yeah, but we were welcome. Basically, they knew what was going on.
Yeah, they were good guys.
We were covered. It wasn't like we just showed up. They were like ready for.
Yeah. Hey, you really, like you said, we was down there with the guys, and we, they welcomed us and treat us right down there. It wasn't no bullshit like you just showing up, popping up, and nobody don't know you or nothing like that. You know what I'm saying? Some good fellas down there though, for sure.
Yeah, we'd have security and everything. We'd have I don't know, I forget I remember I went there, and they had we're on a reservation, and then we had all the entrances protected by the Outlaws, the motorcycle gang. It was crazy. I was like, what the? Nobody's getting in and out of here. This is totally sealed.
Hey,
they didn't play.
Them boys weren't playing.
And it's interesting. Every time I went up in the mountains to see Lester Hughes, nobody was going to touch him, because back then I think the mayor in that area, like they protected him, the judge, everybody. It's like parts of the mountains, man. They have their own code.
Yeah,
they do whatever the hell they want up there in the mountains, the Appalachian Mountains.
That's one thing about them rural areas, boy. Them areas like that, they pretty much govern themselves till something big go down or something, but for the most part.
I remember they tried to get Floyd Hicks, and he was in, they always try to bust him all the time, but his uncle was the judge.
Dang.
So they never could bust him, so they had to finally bring in the federals, and they finally got him, the helicopters. But he was a really good man. I remember I liked Floyd Hicks a lot.
Oh yeah. Eli Miles say Lock Lear down on the reservation wasn't no joke.
And I remember I met Boone several times.
Yeah. Oh, word.
Roscoe, I guess.
Yeah. Good brother.
Yeah. But back then it was such a small community. I mean it was just so small.
Hey,
I met some people from Texas too, but
hey, you know what? Now that we looking back and we're looking at all the technology we got, we didn't even miss it. We didn't even miss it back then because we didn't know nothing about it. So we still got in touch with people, and we were still able to reach out and find this person, or you know what I'm saying, or it was, even though we didn't have the the internet and the smartphones and all that other stuff and different little Facebook and all that stuff, brother, still, like you said, it was a small community and people, word got around, talk, and you met people, especially as you got older. I was younger when I started, so time I got about 21, 22, 20, as I started getting older, I started meeting other people because I knew how to handle it. I knew what I knew what I wanted in the dog game at that time. You know what I'm saying? So, but yeah, man, it was a lot of good people around there, I think.
There were a lot of bad people too, I have to say.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Mm-hmm.
They weren't all good. Some were out for no good.
Oh yeah.
But the one thing that people don't realize is that it was a network, and that network ran all the way through the United States.
Mm-hmm.
There's nowhere I couldn't go to. I'd show up at a dog man's house and be welcome. It was you could go anywhere in the United States at that time.
Yeah, that's when it was more like a fraternity then. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
it was more like a fraternity.
It's not like that now. But all the dog men would sell you a cur, just let you know that.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Shit, you ain't gotta tell me. I already know it.
But I think now that the difference I see in the dogs now is the big problem I have with the biggest thing I can say is they're way too inbred and there's too many man biters. And the dogs, I'm telling you, they look different to me. I mean, I gotta take a double take on some of these dogs when I look at them. I'm like,
yep.
Their bodies are longer. And I do have to admit that one thing I noticed, like peculiarities. Some dogs have roach backs. Mm-hmm. Some dogs have smaller chests. They're wider. I mean, but like the Chinaman dogs, they have perfect teeth. I remember you saying that. It's like you open their mouth, everything's in place.
Yep.
I've never seen anything like it. You could take it to the dentist. I mean, it'd be like, this is like the most perfect mouth I've ever seen on their dog. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, I have to say there's certain traits. I know the red boy dogs when I was younger, they had a lot of wind. They had wind.
Yeah.
Natural
wind.
Natural wind. It was just natural.
Yep. That's what they were known for. They were known for the natural wind.
And they had the ones I saw were, when I hear about the yellow dogs, the red boy dogs, I knew they were face dogs. They would go to the face.
Yeah. And
then go to the throat to finish. But that Jocko stuff, Jocko himself, like, I ever had a friend, he would talk about the Jocko dogs. He says, that Jocko dog, he fought like a cur. He would just get in the back of, the underparts of the back of the, from the rear.
Yeah.
And he thought, a lot of people didn't like that style, by the way. So they would say, he pissed all over himself and he just,
yeah.
There's all kinds of stuff people were saying. I mean, I never saw him go. I have no way of knowing. Yeah. But I used, people had strong opinions back then. Very strong. It's interesting. But I used to laugh. He would tell me, he said, I said, yeah, but he's won every one. I mean, and people go, no, I like a head-on dog. It has to be a head-on dog. Can't make one turn. Has to fight totally straight on the whole time. It has to be an honest bulldog.
Hey, it's funny how you say that red boy stuff was known for going in the face and then going in the throat, because that's how Bo used to do it. He wasn't necessarily straight a face dog, but he did destroy some faces. He would go in that face and he'd go in that throat, and he had that heavy red boy presence in his pedigree. Off that
and they would go to the mouth if they have to, which would blow me away.
Mm-hmm.
Some dogs would go for the mouth. There were a few, but it doesn't always work out. Sometimes the dog with the stronger jaws is going to get the advantage right away.
Yeah, he wasn't really no leg dog. I never really seen him. He definitely ain't never hit a back end. But I've never really, he would shake a leg time to time, but he was more of an up front dog, I would say, probably. But I believe, like you said, it was that red boy, coming, and that red boy was close back then, coming off the direct parents and stuff.
You're right.
So, I believe that, like you said, you're right about that. They hit that face and then go in that throat.
But I would see some dogs that would go, ear. There's also red boys will go for the ear sometimes, but they weren't primarily ear dogs. But you saw a lot of dogs. The chest dogs had to be tough.
Yeah.
Some dogs were burying themselves into the chest,
Now,
which
I couldn't stand a chest dog back in the days because I felt like they always would get their face messed up. They
they're
pop in that chest, that dog work their face for the whole damn time. Even if they win, they still get their face messed up.
yeah. If you have a leg dog, the best leg dogs. I was talking to this old guy because I was giving him crap because I was saying, man, this dog is going for the legs, man. It's just giving up everything for the legs.
Damn.
And he goes, don't be saying that. So old dog man says, don't be saying that. There's different type and you can get leg dogs. If he goes for the paws and goes low, that's the dog you want to have.
Yeah. Hey,
He was telling me if he goes low, he says that's a good dog. But then these ear dogs were interesting because people talk about styles back then. There's certain dogs had styles, and the ear dogs were interesting because I always thought they're wasting their time on this ear while the other dog is doing everything. And this same old man looked at me and he goes, "That's not right. If they go in for the eardrums, that's good. Just don't hang on the outside of the ear."
yeah.
I was like,
Hey, yep. They swell that top part of the ear close to their head up now. They start swelling that part up. They start stopping. Them dogs be wanting to quit when their head starts swelling up. But like he said, hang on that end. I don't know.
but the dogs I was impressed with that were not, I think that the Bolio dogs, they really impressed me with their wrestling ability.
Mm,
The Bolio dogs are good dogs, but they weren't. When I was around in North Carolina, only time I saw a Bolio dog is when I moved out to west, out into like Colorado and California. But I did not see any Bolio dogs. I remember I was telling a buddy of mine, I said, you know what? We need to get some of this white blood to North Carolina and some Bolio dogs. I told my buddy, he's back there, and he said, their word was getting back to them. So they finally did get the Bolio dogs, the Hollingsworth dogs, and stuff like that.
mm.
I know one guy, he said, he was telling me that he says the mother of Mayday, Hollingsworth, is buried on this yard. I went to go see him on vacation. He says, this is sacred land. Hollywood's Dolly or whatever is buried on my land. I said, what? I said, what? He says, yeah, that dog was on my yard. I tracked up.
Damn.
He says, my land. But he had some of that stuff that Hollingsworth, and I told him, I said, well, I want some of that stuff. And then he looked at me, he said he tried to breed. He had only 2 dogs off of it, and they were brothers and sisters. And then he said they wouldn't take. Yeah, when they get that inbred, the brother and sister is not going to work. Nature has a way of taking care of that.
Yeah.
So in the end, he sold both dogs. So he says, man, he put it in Hobley classified, and they just came and picked their dogs up like they were happy as hell.
Damn.
Yeah, but now a lot of people, which I think today, I did want to answer that person's question. The lines that people are messing with for some reason, and I talked to a guy, and they're actually going after like the Cardenas dogs from Mexico and stuff. And I asked him why you want to mess with the Cardenas dog. This is like an 80-year-old man, so he's been on it forever. And he was saying like, well, they still use them for their original purpose. And I said, yeah, I can understand that. But I mean, you have to remember, people don't realize when I was younger, it wasn't a felony. I want to tell people that.
Mm-hmm.
It was not a felony. And I'll tell you, I've seen a lot of my people I know get arrested, lose their family, lose their dogs, lose their wife, lose everything. A felony is not a joke.
Yep.
If you have a felony, you can't even have a gun. You can't vote in some places. So, I mean, when I was around, it was more a misdemeanor. In North Carolina, it was a misdemeanor. I think North Carolina was one of the last states to make it a felony because it was a misdemeanor.
Yeah,
I remember South Carolina that I was surprised they had chicken fighting going on back then.
man.
But I think they made it a felony too. I don't think they do it anymore.
Yeah, people still got chickens in where I stay at in the city. You might see somebody with chickens in the yard, they just running around loose. But you know, they try to stop it, but it's like how you gonna really stop a chicken? You gonna get out there and chase it down? You know what I'm saying? I mean, shit, this motherfucker go across the street and they come back and roost in my yard at night or something like that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, all of them will follow each other. Like, what you gonna do? They ain't got no dog catcher in the city no more, like the old school dog catcher to go out there and chase the dogs. So I know damn well them city police ain't gonna get out there and chase no chicken. And the only thing they maybe can do is give you a ticket. But I mean, if you can't prove that the chickens coming to my house or my chickens, I mean, you know how that go. Just about maybe about 5 years ago, a brother in my city tied up some goats in the neighborhood. And I'm talking about I live directly in the hood in the city. The goats, the goats are straight, and the police never mess with them, bro. Only thing got the goats kicked out of the city. The goats start chewing out the damn cage he had them in. He had them in a wood cage, and they start chewing out the cage. Man, they start seeing the goats at Walgreens. The people was going to Walgreens wondering why the hell they got goats up here in the middle of the city. Where these goats come from? And then the brother found out his goats were loose, and they didn't know the police start finding out about it then, and then they end up telling him he got to take it to the country or whatever. You know.
But the dogs that were really good in this area were like there's a dog, Champion Alien, was really big. He scratched blind.
Mm.
He's a blind dog, and he's very. I actually knew the guy who had the dog, and I asked him, and he said they over, made it too dramatic. He said, my dog is just a dog. It's 3-time winner, but I still think he had the brother. There were two of them that became champion. The Alien was one. I can't think of the other, but like everything else, and there was the one guy who was bringing the white blood. My buddy met him from North Carolina. He came up here one time, and he said he's heard all these dogs barking, and he looked over the fence, and he says they're all pit bulls. And then he went to talk to the guy, and the guy was a dog man from way back. I actually met him too. And he was a dog man who was a trucker, and he would go everywhere, and he'd get these dogs because he would as a trucker, he could go anywhere in the United States. And it's sort of interesting. So the white blood, the alien blood was local here. But best dogs in this area now, you know what, where I live, I think I'm the only one who has a pure pit bull. I have one pit bull and a half pit bull.
Damn.
The one cross that's good with a pit bull, if you just want to have a dog, all-around dog, is I got it. My wife got it for me. So I was like, I don't think she knows I about all my past, but she got me a dog. She just went like classified, or so. She just brought it home for me. She says, "I know you like this dog. Is cute." And the mother was a red and white border collie, and the father was a red-nosed pit bull.
Damn, that's gonna be a smart dog. That's a smart dog. A border collie.
It can learn anything. The dog is so smart. It's smarter than me, I think. And so the one thing I noticed that when you breed, the female dog has more influence than the male dog for some reason. So one thing in the dog world that I've noticed, they can get a male, but the secret is to have a good female.
Yeah.
That's the truth. People don't realize you got one half of the equation. You need to have a good female.
Yeah. And
people don't realize that. They call them brood dogs, but the brood dogs never get tested. So you end up, one half the equation. So,
yep.
And if you have a good female, everybody's going to come see you. There's nobody not going to come see you, because they know that too. And they want to breed their stud dog to yours for puppy or something. But yeah, the female.
Mm-hmm.
So this area, they also had these dogs that I'm trying to think that like Black Angel dog or something. That was off the Garter Spike or something. That dog was stopped everything.
Damn.
Yeah, there was like that dog was for real. Garter Spike or something came. They bred that dog and they got these killer dogs that I knew the people. They just got lucky to get that dog and it beat everything. It was never a contest.
And it was directly off Spike.
I don't know. It was like it's. I gotta check, but it actually fought in Mexico too. So
It's a good chance it was directly off Spike, being it was back in the days.
yeah, but that Spike dog produced some incredible stuff. I don't know
Mm-hmm.
what the hell, but I don't see it being pushed. If I look at Garner's stuff, you don't see that Spike blood in much anymore. He's got some snooty dogs, but you don't see that Spike blood.
Yeah, yeah.
But if you look at, he's got like Vince Romero or whatever, did a lot of conditioning. He's got some dogs that he's using off Vince Romero. He just got them recently. I'm seeing he's breeding it into his stuff. I think it was like bone. But those dogs that they're line bred off that stuff, they're pretty good. They have the ability at least.
Yeah, I think that Garner stuff, pretty good myself. It just I think a lot of people cross it different ways, and never can't tell where a dog end up at. But I think that Garner stuff pretty good. At least that Spike stuff, like you said, and the Chinaman, I seen some good ones, and I seen some.
Well, the thing is, the Chinaman, the first generation off him was good. After that, I think the Frisco dogs, I think they're. I had a buddy of mine. If you want to have controversy, he says that I see on YouTube and everything, but they said the Frisco dog actually, he was sitting there and they got a phone call and they were asking, "What should we do?" Because it's the Frisco dog. We rolled it and it basically it curved. And then he says, "Well, I think Vince or whatever he called it Garner. So hey, dog, the dog curved." And he said, "Well, it's too valuable." So like my buddy was there, he heard it on the phone, and he says, "Well, just send it back." So, but I mean, I understand because if you're a businessman, if that's the most inbred Chinaman dog you got, it's going to produce something. It will produce something.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that some of that stuff, it's not bred the way it's. I think like my buddy told me, he says that a truck pulled in and he was there. He saw it with his own eye, and I guess Cardenas was getting out of the dogs, and 25 dogs showed up, and he says those 25 dogs don't show any of his pedigrees, but they're all from Cardenas.
Yeah.
And I trust my friend. I've known him for many, many years.
Yeah.
So maybe the Frisco stuff has all been replaced by Cardenas dogs.
Hey, ain't no telling, well.
But that's pretty controversial. But I mean, there's like you can't trust any of the paperwork, man. They all they hit it.
You're right about that. You can't trust none of that paperwork.
Because Dean Clemens told me his dogs were all Lightner dogs, and I went online, I went and looked at pedigrees, and I asked him, "What do you think about the Hemphill dogs?" Because there's the Hemphill dogs are Lightner too.
Yeah.
And he says they're just big curs. He says the Hemphill dogs are all curs. Bob Hemphill dogs, they're all good show, pit bulls, like they're curs. And I'm looking at them like, okay. He says avoid anything with Hemphill in it. So I looked at the stuff he was breeding, and the only things I found that he was breeding, they never had Lightner on it. They all had Hemphill on it.
Damn.
They hid their stuff. These dog men these old dog men, they would hide their lines. They did everything. I mean, you got to look at the dog. In the end, it doesn't matter. Don't get like focused on that pedigree. Yep. And they had the way they looked at it was this way. First, you check the dog. Then, if the dog is good, you look at the parents. And then if the grandparents are good, you have a good dog. They would go back 3 generations and no further. And you see people going back 6, 7, 4 generations. But in my time, they only looked at 3 generations.
Yeah.
They didn't care. After 3 generations,
They weren't worried about it.
and I heard good things about the McCoy dogs or something. The Tebow, I can't even say his name. It's T.H. Thibodeau or something. They're supposed to be good. I had a friend say, he said he went to one of them and he said he was just impressed. They would not stop, no matter what.
The McCoy dogs?
Yeah, Thibodeau or some, I can't say his name. Some guy was a breeder. He says, if you see that name on the pedigree, it's going to be a good dog. Okay. He says all those Thibodeaus. I think if you go back in the McCoy, it's made of all that stuff.
Yeah, I heard of that name, Thibodeau.
So I would say the modern dogs that are basically people are hunting them down. They're going to Mexico. They're getting the Mexican dogs now. I mean, but I personally think that I can't believe the dogs in Mexico are better than the dogs in America. I just don't believe it.
Yeah,
I don't believe it. I would go with like what usually people are searching for all these dogs, but sometimes the best dogs are in your backyard. I always made a point to support the local dog man. That's my thing. I would try everything to support the local dog man. I found I had better luck that way.
Yeah.
I really don't. I don't think I need to go to another country like Mexico or Russia or any place, because when you grow up in North Carolina, it's like a mecca there. People are coming to you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But Dean Clemens got all the dogs, and then he sent his dogs. He sent his dogs to. There's 2 Crenshaws. I forget which Crenshaw it is. And he bought all his dogs. But guess what? He sent his dogs to him. And over all the years, he never paid him for the dogs.
Damn.
And when you look at the dogs he had, they don't show anywhere on the dogs that they're from Clemens. So a lot of people buy these dogs and they put their names on them. It's just the way it is. Nobody's going to get credit for this stuff. They just put their names on it. Because I think they just don't want you to know what they got.
Yeah. They say a lot of them old schoolers like to keep it hidden, man.
Man, it's like pulling teeth. Those old dog, man, unless you ask them a direct, specific question, they never answer it. I don't know what it is. You got to ask them exactly I just said, well, how are these dogs? How are these dogs bred? And he wouldn't say, well, they come off Teal's Jeff, they're this off this dog or anything. The first thing he says to me, I'm not a breeder.
Damn.
Dean Clemens is the ones who breeds them. But he just told you right away. So I don't even know, if any of those dogs are bred. They say that Howard Teal has it. Do you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So
and he would know. He would definitely know.
And Dean Clemens told me, he says, I just got the 7 last Lightner dogs and had them, had a friend in the Air Force in Colorado, and they put them in the Air Force, the plane, and flew them into South Carolina.
That might be what we're pumping them Lightner dogs. Ain't no damn telling, Bo. Ain't no telling.
And I like, and you ask Howard too, how you get a game dog? He says somebody gives it to you. And so, their mindset was much different. I don't think we can compare it to them.
Yeah.
I don't think you could go back and live in the past.
No.
And I would tell anybody I know, seeing my friends went through the Pineapple Kid. He had a dog called Wino, and I think I was listening to Richard Garcia, and I told him, I said, I was there when Wino was there, and he says, Wino was a good dog, and he said, yes, Wino was a good dog, and I went back and I beat him because he lost his first one against him. But I saw that one with Wino. It was great. That was in Arizona. It was a 3 or 4 card,
Dang.
about 3 days. Something, you, but yeah, I find it like the Pineapple Kid. He definitely used anything he could to make sure his dog would win, and I don't think he's beyond using. I think he said he Fat Bill told me, he says he came up to see him and he slept on his sofa or whatever for a couple of days, because Pineapple Kid was the most dedicated person I ever seen in dogs. He's originally from the Philippines,
Mm.
and
He's still
man,
living?
he's dead.
Okay.
He ended up being kicked out of the United States.
Oh, wow.
He was an outlaw from day one. He lost his wife, his kids, he lost everything, and he moved around the whole country. I mean, and I think some newspaper interviewed him and said, "Well, why are you into these dogs?" And he says, "Because the money's so good."
Mm. Hey, he
He
was
was-
honest with you.
so, and then they basically threw him out of the United States because he was from the Philippines, and then he died penniless on the beach. Just didn't have anything anymore. A lot of these dog men end up pretty bad. Just to let you know.
Yeah.
You can't get up. The one thing I learned, and well, not a lot of things I learned, but the one thing in the dog community, you don't want to be obsessed with these dogs. You got to remember, you got a family. You got to make sure your kids, your wife are provided for. Your family does have to come first. If you make the dogs first, it's not good.
Mm-hmm.
You can never put stuff. You don't put a dog in front of your family. I see people doing that. You put their dog in front of their wives, their kids, and everything. And I'm saying that's wrong.
Yep.
I would tell anybody who's into dogs, like, you know, you know, the dog. A lot of people didn't have that many dogs. They had 7 dogs before. The big yards, I think, are really bad for the dogs. A lot of the people interacted with their dogs a lot more. They didn't just keep them on a chain. They spent a lot of time. They were integrated into the family. That was when I was around. They were family. They were still family dogs. And then the man biters start coming up, because this is what people thought the man biters were all curs. So they would do anything to make them stop. So they tested them harder than anything. So they couldn't make them stop. So guess what? Those are the dogs that would test the hardest and wouldn't quit. So they bred those dogs to get more game dogs, because they always wanted to kill that man biter. And they were hard on those man biters. But
yeah.
so now the man biters seem to be very prevalent. I don't know why, but if you get that man biter stuff in your gene pool, it's damn hard to get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
I was wondering, like, I heard, like, maybe you can answer this to me. There's like certain dogs, like Triple A or whatever. I see this dog and some Tance Triple A. They say he was a hell of a man biter. I don't know if that's true.
I heard he was a man biter too. I haven't laid my eyes on himself, but I heard he was a man biter. Or I heard he threw man aggressive dogs.
Yeah. So I mean, once you start, I don't know if the Jocko Red Boy stuff is man biter stuff, but you know more than I do. I'd like to know myself. Asking you that question.
I haven't seen too many man biters in it. What I have seen in it is what you said before earlier, when you do a whole lot of inbreeding, you start getting ones that become a little shy, timid towards the people and stuff like that. I seen them, do like that. But for the most part, if I seen 100 Red Boy Jockos throughout my life, which I've seen more than that, but if I seen 100, I only seen, out of the ones that that I only seen maybe no more than 5 man biters. If 5, I can't even recall 5 of them out of 100 if I seen it. Now I seen some of the Red Boy Jocko that get so souped up. I'm talking about so souped up that he gotta see something. If he don't see nothing, then you can't let him go because he's gonna turn around and come at you. You know, I've seen a red boy jocko like that before.
That's called that's what I call exciter biter.
Yeah, like he the
It's
friendliest
so
dog in the
excited.
world. Yep, friendliest dog in the world. But once he got souped up, you literally had to hold him behind the back of his neck, and he had to see something. Because if he didn't see nothing, you had to throw him and you had to run. You know what I'm saying? You had to get out of
I
dodge.
don't- I I I I, I had a lot of friends who had red boy, and I'll tell you, I never worried about ever getting bit with the dogs in my time. You could be your hand be anywhere near their mouth and they wouldn't touch it. Now, unfortunately, the dog I have now is if it sees a squirrel and you're in between the squirrel, you could get a fang in your arm or something because they're just so excited. They go into a certain place, which I think is dangerous myself. I think for a family, that kind of dog is dangerous. So I watch my dog like a hawk, but that dog has got me so many times. I'm like thinking this is not. I wouldn't want to do anything with him, roll him, because I'd be afraid.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid that I'd have blood everywhere and it'd be my arms.
yeah. Right about that.
But I genetically tested my dog. I I I, I got him from Tom, but I don't know how he's really bred because when I genetic tested him, I bought one dog off of his Tom Garner's red boy dog, and then I got the other one off chemo. And then when I tested them both, because I wanted one that's pure Chinaman, I want to see the difference, and one on the Garner's red boy. But they came back, they're half brother, half sister, so I can't figure out what happened there when I did genetic test.
Yeah, ain't no telling.
But I didn't expect. I said, you know what? This is the normal course of things. I didn't take it, hard.
Yeah. Dang.
So you just nowadays with the genetic testing, you can find out more than you ever could before.
Yep.
But the more you find out, the more you realize these pedigrees, you don't know what the hell it is.
You might don't want to find out.
I think it's better not to find out.
Yep. Hey, and I ain't gonna lie, that damn what's the name of the DNA Embark. When Embark, I'm telling a lot of brothers can send them pedigrees to Embark. I mean, do they DNA testing Embark? Embark gonna send you a paperback and your dog gonna have Cocker Spaniel in it or something, I guarantee you. Because it's a lot of brothers that sending their dogs to Embark, and when they come back, they got they show their little percentages of what a dog's makeup is, and they have another dog in it, and they don't have nothing to do with pit bulls. You know what I'm saying?
I feel better. At least my dog is inbred, but it's pure.
Yeah. I mean, these dogs they look full-blooded. And some folks, because I see it on the internet, they was making an issue about it, saying Embark getting things wrong and stuff like that. But I don't know, man. I'll just know.
I think they can make some things wrong, but I think it's pretty close. Or maybe, I'm starting to wonder if they started with so few pit bulls to begin with, maybe they're all related. And we just think they're not, because you look at it like, okay, the outside, they might have a different nose color or something, but maybe they're so related now, they're going to have to be outcrossed to something eventually.
Yeah.
Because you start getting too many problems, like you're just like, what the hell?
Hey, you got to look at it now. They was all, like you said, we started with a small bunch when the country first started with the pits. Now, as we gradually grew and they got more and more, they were still doing inbreeding. Now, all our dogs came from this, say, 10 dogs. All the dogs that we got now came from 10 dogs. Okay, now, all this inbreeding we doing from then to now, man, like them 10 dogs they done crossed over about 30, 40 times already. You know what I'm saying? It's like the dogs, we only had a small group of them. Now we got millions, but all the millions came to that small group, and all these millions doing all this inbreeding. And it all goes back to that small group. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, we might have to start doing some outs on some of them dogs. You know what I'm saying? Getting a whole nother genetic pool on them dogs. Just to damn strengthen it up again. Get some of them bad traits up out of there. You know, I don't know.
Well,
You know.
the one thing I think that I like that I wish they did it like with these pit bull registers. Like the AKC had so much problems with their inbred dogs because
Mhm.
they have most of their dogs are performance bred, so there's no way to really cull them or find a way. So they started saying this breed could only have this much inbreeding in it. They have like
Mm.
percentages.
Damn.
And so I think maybe these pit bull registers should say, okay, we need to start putting. There's a limit. We won't register a dog if it's this inbred.
Yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
mean, because there's got to be something to stop it. You know, like okay, we're not gonna register a dog because it's so inbred. You know, like it's so inbred. It
Mhm.
makes the French family of France look, you know, like they're outcrosses or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah. You right about that,
Because
boy.
the Habsburgs, man, it's so inbred. You know, they come out with noses and all kind of weird stuff. They were so into keeping the royalty. They had to keep some of their people like locked up in the rooms because they were so mentally ill. But
Mhm.
I think that the AKC does that, and I thought that would be a good idea. They say you could only be this inbred. The only problem with that is if you have a trait and you want to magnify it, the easiest way to do it is to inbreed.
Yeah.
People are going to take the easy route, and then the thing is, like when I was in Germany, the German dogs are really good. When I was a kid there, because they they basically cull everything. If anything shows one defect, it's put under. I mean, they're ruthless.
Damn.
But here in America, they don't do the same thing. So, I always hear these people, I inbreed by color. They don't cull their stuff.
Yeah.
And then you let that bad genes in there, it's never going to go out.
Mhm.
Because I remember, like when I was younger, some of the dogs, I found out that the red boy dogs that were really inbred, man, they would have like intestinal problems. I remember they would have disorders of the intestine. I was like, what the hell? Had to give some kind of enzyme to them, but
Damn.
I don't know, like how many things you can get. And one dog, my brother inbred it by accident, and the damn dog came out born with a crippled leg.
Mm.
It's like deformed leg. Because I told him, I said, man, don't let like he was basically a my dog was a father daughter, and then that was his mother, and then he let my dog breed back to his mother. And I said, are you crazy? He says, it was an accident. I fell asleep. But the pups came out of that, came out with a deformed leg.
Damn.
So you have to be, you have to be very, very tight on it, not to let that stuff happen.
See, I'm glad these dog shows out too, man. Cause like I heard about the deformities and different things, but I know one brother who was telling me he had a couple of them that came out different ways, but I never really, you always hear about it. You never really, you know, talk to nobody personally that been through it. Like how you say the legs is crooked and stuff. I know another brother to say that testis was uh they came out with the intestines on the outside or something.
Yeah, it's just not. But the one thing that blows me away is some of these pit bulls look like they got Rottweiler in them. I wanted a DNA test them because when I was young, we never had any dog that looked like that. There was no dogs that had that black and tan Rottweiler look.
Nah, hey,
I,
I try to say
I
the
never
same
seen
thing.
that.
I try to say the same thing, but this boy said it was out back then. So, you know,
I mean, I'm not saying it's impossible. I remember they did have blue pit bulls and talk about the blue, but I never saw a blue pit bull in my life. I still think they took the gray ghost, the Weimar dog, and bred or something there because every dog I saw growing up, every yard I ever saw, I never saw a blue pit bull.
yeah,
I'm saying there weren't any blue pit bulls, but I never saw it.
yeah, yeah.
And where'd that come from? I'm like, look at this is. I start seeing blue pit bulls. I go, what is this? So
I wonder how they actually got that coat to turn that gray like that.
well, it's pretty obvious to me. They took probably took a hunting. There's a German hunting dog called the Weimar.
Mm,
Weimar.
yeah.
They call it the gray ghost, and it's got that color.
Okay.
So I think somebody bred it, and then and they kept that color in there.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't think they're game, and maybe it's better they're not, because I think my understanding is they're not, and I think I'm not one that, people don't agree with me, but I don't think the general public should have these dogs. I'll tell you.
Which one you talking? The American Pit Bull Terrier.
A game bred dog is too much for nowadays for most people. Most of these dogs, people need like a labradoodle or all this stuff, because that's all they can handle.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
yep.
That's and I think like there's a point where everybody's talking about, well, I want a game bred dog. I think somebody should go out there and breed one that looks just like a pit bull, but it's like a Labrador in its heart.
Well, that's what they got. They got the bullies. I mean, they look about like pits. They just, a little more calmer, I guess.
I know they have them. They're sort of. I've seen a bully though. That the bully was game as hell. I mean, I was looking at this dog. It's like he was a game bully.
So you won't be able to do the pits like that, because brothers will start mixing that shit back into the good dogs. They'll start mixing the ones that's calm, that the one that's bred to be, just the regular old dogs. They'll start mixing it back, and you won't know what you got, man. Some people have the good stuff, and some people have the bullshit.
I mean, I think they tried already. If you look at the comment on it, they started making the American Staffordshire Terrier staff. They've tried that before. It hasn't worked out too well.
No.
You just get a real big dog,
mm-hmm.
big size pit bull, but I still don't think you don't know how game it's going to be, or how it's not.
Mm-hmm.
I think that they. I would say breed a border collie as the bitch, and take a red-nosed pit bull. You have a beautiful dog, and he'll make a good pet. But most people can't handle these dogs.
Yeah, you're right, man. You're right. Them dog, hey.
You know what blew me away when I did that embark stuff? This might make some people mad, especially the breeder. I told him, and I don't think he was happy. But I said, you know what? I want you to know that my dog matched up with all these dogs, and all these dogs were shelter dogs, because people were trying to use embark to figure out what kind of dog they have. So a lot of your dogs that you're breeding are ended up in the pounds.
Mm-hmm.
I said, you need to think about that for a while.
Yep.
But I know this person used the big legal word for me. Well, once the dog leaves, I'm not responsible for it. Well, I agree, but do you really want to place your dog in people's hands, and then the dog ends up in a dog shelter? I mean, don't you want to follow it through? It's your creation.
Yeah, that's why you can't find the good dogs, because somebody done gave it to the wrong person. They end up in the dog shelter. Yep.
Well, these people, they paid for it. They think they're going to get a dog, and this dog, if it's a game bred dog, they think it's gonna be like a poodle or something.
Oh, yeah,
and they
yeah.
They don't understand. You have to, look at your dog and see, like,
Mm-hmm.
I know a well-bred dog doesn't even growl.
Yep.
It's not to give you any warning.
Yep. They always say a true pit bull don't growl, don't do nothing.
Well, I can tell you this. In the day, if a dog growled, it may be in the first minute.
Yeah.
But if it growled like 5 minutes later, all the bets were against it. It's like that dog is totally jerk. They're all growled down. Everybody looks at each other and says, I'm losing my money. And I bet
hey, first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna look up, I'm gonna look at you, and I'm gonna like, you heard that? Oh, you heard that? He about to quit. I'm gonna start talking to you out your game. As soon as I hear him over there making that little growling, shit. I'm gonna go ahead and start talking you out your game then. Oh, he about to quit. He about to quit. Give him 5 more minutes.
There's tell on these dogs. Like I could, if the dog that's losing or is psychologically in the worst state, if your dog has got his, the both on top, and your dog's got his tail tucked underneath its abdomen, you're in trouble.
Oh boy, you in some trouble. I don't care what position. You can be winning and his tail like that. You know, it's just a matter of time, boy. It's just a matter
Yeah.
of time. Like you say, soon as that tide changed for 30 seconds,
Yeah.
he ain't gonna play the bottom with that tail like that. He
But
might.
there's all these kind of tells. If he shows his fangs and all kind of stuff, or his hair might come up in the first like 1 minute, but if it keeps on, the hair keeps on standing, you're gonna lose.
Oh yeah, the hair come up. That's another loss. He going down, especially if you like you said after it done started and the hair start coming up. Some people don't even like the hair to come up. Period. Even with the working dogs,
Yes.
some people don't like the hair to come up on them because they see that as a sign of fear. As far as like the working dogs and stuff, they like the
Yes.
dogs to just straight go in and without their hair raising up on their back, especially puppies and stuff or younger dogs. They start saying when you see their hair raising up, it's just like a wild animal. Like
Yes.
a
It's a bluff.
yeah, like a
It's a bluff
bluff, like a
play.
bluff.
It's a bluff
Yep.
play.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, you have all these tells. You could tell. I don't think people know that. You could look and see these slight things, and you could also do like micro features on their faces too.
Mm-hmm.
You could see sometimes they're like if they raise like their lips a little bit, like a threat display. Any threat display, it's pretty well over because they're using threat display because whatever they're doing is not working.
Yeah, you right about that, Bo. It ain't
But
working.
but a lot of people I know they want a dog that was head on. Like the Homer dogs were head on. A lot of people, but I didn't believe in that. I said, I know it's the red boy dogs would turn a lot, but they would come back. They would scratch.
Mm-hmm.
They could turn 20 times, but they're coming back.
Yeah.
So people would tell me, I want a head on dog. It makes no turn and it goes straight on. But I don't think they realize. I think a good handler can cause hell if he's got a dog that turns and he knows what he's doing.
Oh yeah. Hey,
And
I love I love one that turn that know that's he'll turn early and don't take too much damage before he make that turn. Shit, we can get that scratching on back then, and I already know I'm gonna go out, come out 50. I'm coming out over and over, and I ain't worrying about it once the scratching start. If you don't do that damage on me before that scratching start, you won't get me once we get in that corner. Cause I'm gonna handle mine. I'm gonna pick up out a hole. I'm looking at him. Like you say, I got that microscope. I'm looking at his mouth. As soon as his mouth open up, I'm pulling him. If he on the bottom, I'm flipping him up on his feet. You know what I'm saying? If he ain't on the bottom, I'm gonna snatch him up. And you better grab yours, cause I know how to handle them. You know what I'm saying? I'm gonna get back to that corner because I know we gonna keep it in the corner. And we gonna scratch all day. If we gotta scratch, we can scratch all day.
I know the people like the red boy dogs, they would call a turn on their own dog as soon as they could.
What?
And look at them. That's not turn. No, turn this one.
Hey, that's for sure. I'll do it. I'm looking at a dog that I know is a scratch dog to the end. I'm trying to call turn on my dog as soon as possible. That motherfucker turn. He ain't even turn. He trying to do something else. He turned. The referee ain't gonna acknowledge it, but you trying to get that turn in, you trying to get that call so you can get to that corner. You know what I'm saying? Because once he get that corner, he in his world, and he know what time it is.
But the dogs that I tell you that I hated was those lippy dogs because they would fang themselves. You'd be sitting there, be unfanging that dog.
Yeah, it ain't nothing like a fang dog, man. You're gonna have problems the rest of the show, man. Once they start fanging himself, and you gotta keep unfanging them, man. That's almost a sign that you're gonna lose too, because once you start fanging, you're gonna have to keep you might not lose because you might still win with the scratching and stuff, but you just gonna have to do a lot of unfanging when your dog fanging in his own, his own jaws. I hate that shit, man, back then,
But I noticed like these good handlers, man, they were tricky and they would do stuff like they knew how to work the system. Because I remember the first guy I knew, he was teaching me. He's an old ironworks dog man, and he said, I saw him do it. He tried to make a handle, but there's no way he could make the handle. But he would grab his dog, and he'd have to let it go down again because he couldn't. It's still on. And I asked him later on. I mean, you try to grab your dog, but it wasn't out of holes. And he says, But people don't know. Once you hold it, the dog sets stronger with his jaws because he feels your touch.
Mm-hmm. Hey,
People don't know that trick.
Yep.
You just grab the dog, man, and you can basically make his bite even harder because you pick them up and touch them, they're gonna bite harder.
Mm-hmm.
You set the bite.
Yep. You're
But
right about that.
there's you see, and another guy wouldn't know that. The old dog, I see the old dog man do that. I'd be like,
Yep.
okay, he knows with the young guys not trying to do that. And I said, another old dog man would call him on it and say, no, you can't do that. That's
Yeah.
not legal. But I don't know. It's illegal. It's sort of, but then you can do things with your feet that, if you notice some people, like if their dog's getting crowded, they'll move their feet near the dog that's crowding their dog. And the dog, if it's, isn't really supposed to go after people. So the dog will move away from your feet and you give your dog a chance.
Yeah.
People don't know you could crowd the other dog. You know all kinds of things.
Mm-hmm.
And people, I would call it, but other people don't. And you see these old dog men just,
Yeah.
they're using every trick in the book to win. Every damn trick in the book to win.
Oh yeah.
And I see people smoking, and some people will try to blow the smoke in your dog's face.
Oh man, that's gonna start an argument. But they'll try it.
You'll see people at the end of the pit. They'll start like smoking, trying to pull. If they're losing, they'll try to blow the smoke through your dog.
Yep.
And there's all kind of this. It's you gotta. I tell you that it is a dirty game. I don't care what they say.
Oh yeah. Now I was telling brothers a while back, like when how the old schoolers used to wear the same color as the dog. You got a black dog, you put on black overalls. Your dog not supposed to be human aggressive. When it's time to make that scratch, I'm gonna hold that motherfucker between my legs so still, he ain't gonna see my dog between my legs. He gonna see just me standing there, and the dog gonna be still. He ain't gonna be able to see it because the dog's colorblind. The dog gonna camouflage in the clothes, and he gonna be looking at me like I don't want to jump on him. He's a human, so I'm just gonna sit right here.
I seen a guy. He'd always wear a black jumpsuit, like the mechanics have.
Yep.
And his dog is black, and he would just squat down.
Yep.
Low as he could and not make a move.
Mm-hmm.
And he would just blend in.
Yeah. Hey, you got a buckskin dog, get your buckskin overall suit. They just got to match them colors together back then. Yeah, all kind of little tricks and stuff brothers would have did back then, man. You know what I'm saying? To get that win. But that's what I call fair cheating. Stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? The overalls and all that type of stuff. But it just is what it is, man. The good old days, it's good we could talk about it.
Yes, competition.
Yeah. Hey, I want to say salute to the chat, man. Salute to all the brothers down in the chat for rocking with us tonight. Yes, sir. What you was about to say, bro?
Yeah, I mean, I think that a lot of these, like I always think about like Fat Bill. I've known him for many, many years. I've been in the dogs longer than him. I'm sure of it, but I think he learned from Walling. Walling's that old dog. I think he went to Texas and he taught him a lot of things. Because who mentored Fat Bill? I want him to talk about that. Somebody told me he went down to Texas and he learned from Walling Bully's son or whatever, the Walling's guy or whatever, the Walling Bully's son.
We'll try
to find out like who was his mentor.
Yeah, we'll try to get brother Fat Bill up on here one night.
Yeah, ask him.
I don't think that'll be hard to do.
He knows who I am.
Yeah, we try to get brother Bill up here. Yes, sir. Hey, man, I want to tell you this right here, man. I appreciate you tonight, bro. You gave us some good dog stories, some good dog talk, man. That's why them boys wanted me to start the interview over and do the second one. But I ain't gonna lie. Whenever you ready to get back up and do another one, I'm ready, dog. You know what I'm saying? I'm ready, bro. You got some good dog stories from one side of the country to the other side of the country. You know what I'm saying? Hey, and you know, and it's the dogs that you talking about is well-known dogs. You know what I'm saying? Well-known dogs. And I want to say I appreciate you, my brother, and thank you for rocking up here with me tonight. You know what I'm saying? Let me see if I say the word right. Socrates.
Yeah, Socrates.
Yeah, I got it now. You know what I'm saying? I used to say Socrates. Socrates, I got you. I got you, my brother. Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you tonight, bro, man. I appreciate everybody down in the chat, man. We got to do this thing again, bro. We got to do it again, man. There's no way we got to do it. We got too much unfinished dog talk, to talk about. But I appreciate you, fam. I appreciate all the brothers and sisters down in the chat, man. Everybody watching the video. Like we always say, man, y'all stay safe out there. Y'all stay legal out there. And take care of them dogs. I hope y'all got something from the dog talk tonight. How to handle your dogs better as far as taking care of them and health wise. You know what I'm saying? Everybody stay safe. Hey, enjoy y'all morning, man. PB Canines and brother Socrates about this piece.